All right, hello and welcome back to the show. I apologize for not doing a pod this weekend, but we're back. I'm Manny Friedman along with my co-host.
Brad Sloan.
All right, let's get to it.
Yeah, I mean, we are. We probably should do a recap for anybody who's not. We haven't done our kind of opening spiel in a while. But we are the Game Bet Match podcast. If you saw us, you probably saw us through our Twitter page, which is also Game Bet Match 123. We post a lot of our picks there as well on days we don't podcast. We podcast about twice a week. If you want the other rules and regulations of the podcast, you can watch the first 5-10 minutes of episode 1. It's somewhere on the interwebs at this point. This is, I think, episode 18 or so you have to go back a ways. But I'm sure if you go to the Game Bet Match, I think the YouTube page and the Twitter handle, I'm sure you can find it if you need to. So with that, we'll get to the meat of the show. We got 6 tournaments to cover, right? We had 3 from the weekend and then three coming up. So
February is actually jam-packed.
It's an awesome part of the year, man. I love the Golden Swing, dude. Like, honestly, I didn't until this year, I did not have nearly as much respect for the Golden Swing.
It's really good. It's really good. Thank you to Tidbits Tennis, who spent 2 hours of his day watching our podcast. It's much appreciated.
Also, Klaus Fulgaard was out there watching our 2 hours of our podcast. So, Klaus, we did call you out last time. I don't know if you saw that or not, but we called you out, about an hour 50 into the episode last week. I don't know if you get a call out this week or not, but we'll see.
All right, sounds good.
So, and thank you to all of our other listeners on an honest. It's really cool that we're getting at least a few of you who are interested in this podcast on a bi-weekly basis. So much appreciated.
Definitely. Well, it also keeps us going. That support is a big part of it. So we appreciate it. So let's start with Rotterdam. So I think we had a pod last Thursday, right? So we
correct
kind of got up to the quarterfinals, right?
Yep.
So I mean, we can kind of go mesh our bets along with takeaways from the event. So start it off.
Medvedev's back, man. I mean, in terms of betting, I bet him in the quarters and the semis. I lost my bet for him to win in 2 sets in the final, but I don't feel bad about that. He outplayed Sinner for sure. The first set was pretty damn good. And Sinner won 7-5. But yeah, Medvedev's back, man. I mean, he killed Dimitrov 2-1. He just and he did the same thing to who did he do the same thing to in the quarters? I can't even remember at this point. Oh, FAA. He killed FAA also. I had the FAA money line there. He killed FAA. That was not even I mean, it was so that was impressive.
So do you think it's more Medvedev is back, or do you think it's a product of good matchups that he had in the quarters, semis, and finals?
I think it's good matchups, right? There are still guys with his game style who are going to give him trouble. But I think it's good matchups on good surfaces, right? FAA on a faster surface might give him more trouble, I think. I think FAA, we talked about last time, I think FAA is pretty close to an all quarter, to be honest. I mean, he had won this event last year. But I think him against Medvedev on a slow surface is not the surface that FAA wants that on.
So when I compare the FAA Medvedev matchup, is basically a poor man's version of a Federer Djokovic matchup. It's a guy that likes to take initiative and be offensive and serve big and come into net and stuff and attack with his forehand, versus a guy that's just going to D up, right?
Yeah.
And who won most of those matchups when Federer and Djokovic were playing? It was Djokovic, right? So that's kind of how I attribute this matchup. I don't think it's a good one for Felix.
But honestly, if it's not on a hard court, this is also probably the worst place for that match to take place for FAA. I don't think Medvedev cares so much about the speed of the court. He's been plenty good on both fast and slow courts. But I do think I do think FAA in this matchup. And it's weird because FAA is not bad on fast or slow hard courts either. But I think in this matchup, it's a much better matchup for FAA on a faster court. I'm not necessarily saying he wins or he's the better player on a faster court, but like I think if it's on grass, FA is a major favorite, right?
Yeah, it's just the footing. Like Medvedev is just not as accustomed to playing on those surfaces, right? But
like on an Australian Open hard court, you think that it's as bad as this was? I think this is the worst possible place for FA to play Dimitrov. But maybe not Dimitrov, Medvedev.
I actually think it doesn't really matter what kind of fast hard court it is, because like when FAA played 5 sets against Medvedev at the Australian Open, it was 5 hours, and I think FAA played one of the matches of his life, to be honest. He was up 2 sets, could have easily, could have won that match in either 4 or 5, but like he played one of the better matches that he's ever played and still came up short. And he obviously wasn't feeling it, He just couldn't really penetrate Medvedev's defense. And that's the kind of similar problem that Federer had when he was playing those Grand Slam finals against Djokovic. Like he just couldn't penetrate the defense. And that's a big, I don't know, that's a big problem. Like if we look at men's tennis as a whole, it's one of the few sports where good defense beats good offense, I feel.
I'm going to disagree with you there.
Serving is probably the only aspect of that which could win, but like in terms of just ground strokes, like in terms of baseline rallies, defense beats offense. Holistically.
So I don't think that's true on grass, right? But I mean, grass is like 1/10 of the sport.
I think it's harder to get the serve back on grass. Like once the serve is in play and once the rally starts, I still think good defense wins.
I don't know. I don't know that I agree with you there. But it gets really hard to differentiate because like most of the time good servers are your good offensive players. They usually go hand in hand, so it gets really hard to differentiate. But you might be right. Like some of the good clay quarters that are good like offensive clay quarters don't do well on grass, so maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so that's my takeaway. I think that's my biggest takeaway from Rotterdam. Yeah, I was disappointed Dimitrov only getting 2 and 1. That's kind of a sad effort.
That was. I mean, it was probably a product of him going 3 sets, tight 3 sets against Demonor.
Probably. Who did Sinner beat in the semis? Griekspoor?
Sinner beat Griekspoor 6-5.
That's a good run for Griekspoor. I don't know.
It is.
Who did he beat? Did Griekspoor beat? He beat somebody. Did he beat anybody decent?
He beat Zverev in the 16s.
Right. He did beat Zverev. That's how he got there. He beat Zverev.
Right. And then in the quarters, he beat who was it?
Brouwer,
right?
Yeah, because Rune retired. That's right. So he kind of got a lucky draw. But Griekspoor's had a good year.
That was what? He's not injured. That was just like he was pissed that he was down 4-love to him.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I mean, that was not good.
Yeah, there's really not a good retirement if you're down 4-love in the second unless you've got a real problem. And yeah, You're right. Like
that was just like.
Yeah, it did.
That lowered my rune stock considerably. Just the fact, like he has so much like mental maturity to that,
He does. That is true of Rune.
Like, I think game wise, he's probably, up there in terms of hitting strokes, like stroke production, forehand and backhand. But in terms of his mental maturity, he's so far away.
He is.
So far away. Yeah. So he's not even close to Alcaraz. Like I thought he was actually getting there, but he's proven me wrong. I mean, he's so far away. So any
thoughts from you on Rotterdam, Manny? I did hit a couple cool props. I hit the Medevedev and Sinner to win a point in each of their first 4 return games in the final. I thought that was
good. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. So Medvedev, I kind of want to see another tournament before I really, back him in terms of like hitting these like big spreads on him and like, hitting futures on him. I want to see how he backs it up with Doha, and I'm going to see how he kind of does in like Acapulco as well.
But has he really been that bad, right? Like he's got 2 losses this year, right? Medvedev, he's got the one to quarter when quarter played pretty well at the Australian.
Mm-hmm.
And that was there was 3 tight sets.
It was.
And then he's got the one to Djokovic that he got beat up pretty good in
Adelaide.
Which tournament? It wasn't Adelaide, right? It was which tournament was
it? Was Adelaide.
It was Adelaide. Okay.
Won, yeah.
Adelaide won when he got beat up by Djokovic pretty good, but that's Djokovic. Like I'm like,
yeah.
And it wasn't that bad of a beating. Like Djokovic was the better player, but it was, it wasn't like a beatdown. So I don't know, like was he ever really gone? Like, I don't know.
No, just all the tournaments last year, like even on hard towards the end of the year, he was underwhelming. Like, the World Tour Finals losing 7-6 in the third. It showed something was a little bit off mentally as well. Like that loss in Paris to Demonor, like in his best form, he doesn't lose those matches,
I guess, yeah, he's probably a little off form, but I don't think he was ever like, was he ever like, did you ever think of him as like not a top 10 player on hard? Because that's the problem with Medevedev too, right? Is like half the year is going to be crap because he can't play on anything that's not hardcore because he just and I think it's mental. Like I think he doesn't want to. Like he thinks grass is for cows and clay is for pigs. Like
right.
And he's a human, so he's only going to hang out on hardcore where he can stay clean.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if I can get -4.5, -4.5 or -5 versus someone out of the top 30, I'll hit it. But I don't know. It's he's got to show me a little bit more before I really back him. But like it was impressive, Like I called it to live bet Medvedev after the first set against Sinner because
that was smart.
Sinner played out of his mind in the first set and won at 7-5, right? And I didn't think Sinner could keep up that level because that's always been his problem. Like, he has amazing strokes, amazing ball striker.
Yeah.
He just can't maintain that.
Granted, like how many guys, I mean, it's, again, like what's reasonable expectation? Like I still think Sinner had a damn good tournament and a damn good run. I mean, the first run was kind of the first run last week was last to last week. The tournament he won, he didn't play a match until the quarters. So that was a little bit all right. Like
but not amazing. He won the event, right?
Yeah. But he backed it up with a final here. He beat Tsitsipas. Like, I mean, what do you want from him? You want him to be number one in the world? Like, what are you asking for?
I know it's just a little bit disappointing how he went away. Like 2-2 against Medvedev. Like, okay, second set maybe you have a little lull. I understand, but then the third set you get it back and you make it 6-4, 7-5. I expect a little bit more.
I hear you. I don't know. I don't know that I disagree.
It just
I'm just trying to keep some perspective on it.
The top 10, like him beating the top 10 is still a little bit away. Like,
well, maybe and maybe not, right? Like, because so we're saying that, but like, who is the top 10 now? Because we've complained about FAA, we've complained about Sinner, we've complained about Fritz, we've complained about Medvedev. So like, who's left? Like besides Djokovic and Alcaraz, we haven't complained about yet. Norrie?
Yeah, good point. Good point. But we're complaining about it in context with Sinner, right? Like Sinner still hasn't been able to beat those guys consistently.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it's a little bit of an overreaction, right? Because I mean, the only big win he had was Tsitsipas, and like we know Sinner kills everybody who's outside the top 50 for sure, and even outside the top 30. Like he does pretty darn well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I consider Sinner to be top 10 quality, so I'm judging him on those standards. That's how I kind of put it, right? And performance was good. To back up a title win with a final appearance is good. It's just the way he went away against Medvedev is just like, it just shows that he can't maintain a really, really high level yet. He's still a little bit away. That's how I put it, So that just beating Tsitsipas doesn't really change my opinion of Sinner. Like I'm still gonna fade him against top 10 guys.
I think you still have to, yeah.
You still have
but I think you have to be careful. Like
you have to be careful.
Because I don't know, like it may not be a fade. Like I hear you, but I don't know that the books are giving him that much respect against top 10 guys either. So it depends on the price.
Depends on the price, yeah.
Which it always depends on the price. Like it's very milquetoast statement to make, but I don't know.
Mm.
All right, anything else from Rotterdam, Manny? Are we ready to move on to Delray Beach next?
I mean, the best match of the tournament was the Dimitrov Demonor quarterfinal. I mean,
that was a great quarter. That was a great match.
Quarterfinal match. I mean, that match point.
I don't think I bet that. I know you did, and you did pretty well. I don't think
I bet the over there because it was so even, and that's how it proved to play out. So I think that was like one of my smarter bets of the week.
I thought that was a good bet. Those guys always play so close. I wanted to hit that so badly, but like every line to me was like,
it was 23.5 when you saw it, right?
Right, and that's why I didn't. I texted you. I would have hit it at 22.5, but I didn't hit it at 22.5. Now that was the line that made the most sense to me. Like those guys are so even that I was scared to hit like either guy over 12.5. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I want to see what else I hit that week. I mean, I don't think the Medevedev -1.5 against Sinner was a bad bet at all.
No, I don't think so either. I hit the same bet. I don't think it was bad.
Yeah.
I hit Medevedev every set in 6-2 or better at +450. I don't think that was bad. Or 6-4 or better at +450. I don't think that was bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was just that first set. I mean, Sinner played out of his mind. I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but it was really high.
I saw the first half of it. I actually went to play tennis. I believe it like 3-2 or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Medevedev Dimitrov under 22 games was a smart bet, even though you're laying juice, but I think that was good.
Yeah, I had Medevedev in straights there, and I laid pretty similar juice, and I was kind of sad because I wish I had like laid something. There's sometimes when I feel like I don't know if it would ever actually work out. But I think it's like a hindsight is 2020 thing. But there's sometimes when I wish like I laid like insane, or I picked up insane juice and hit like some insane line, like +6 or something, you know, like on like Medevedev Dimitrov, like hitting like Dimitrov or Medevedev -6 or something insane. But but honestly, that line was pretty crazy too. I think that line was like Medevedev -5, and I think I hit the straight, but like it wasn't a very friendly line.
It's a good matchup for Medevedev. I don't think Dimitrov.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Like that's one of the better matchups.
It's one of the best matchups on tour for Medevedev.
Yeah. All right. I mean, good tournament for Medevedev. I want him to be back. You know, like he deserves to be a top 5 player. He's incredible. I mean, his movement is just insane.
And his ability to scramble. So like not just his movement, but his ability to hit like scramble type shots is insane. I think that's really underrated. Like when we talk about defensive players, we talk a lot about movement, but we don't talk a lot about the defensive shot.
Right.
And like that's actually more important.
Well, he hits the ball back, but doesn't let it be attackable for the next ball, kind of like.
Well, that's my point, or at least easily attackable, right? Like he gets but he'll get in really weird spots, and he'll be really accurate from really weird positions.
Yeah, like that forehand.
He also does an amazing job of using like we talked about this a little bit. Like Medevedev uses like the whole court really well, and there's not a whole lot of guys that actually use the short ball as like a little bit of a weapon. And I feel like Medevedev does that too. Like he'll sometimes vary depth, and he has pretty good success with it.
He does.
Because his shot is flatter and lower, he gets the ball, like he can sometimes have success hitting the ball in the middle of the court. Not in the dead middle, but he'll hit like the front of the backcourt and like 2/3 of the way to the side, which is like a really annoying shot in men's tennis because so many guys use like those baseline rallies and standing back that when Medevedev does that, I think it makes it really hard for guys. I also think it's one of the reasons he struggles on clay. Is because that shot is really neutralized on clay because the ball just sits up and gets to the baseline anyways, no matter what.
Well, so many guys end up going too big against him, right? They press, right? I feel.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I also think it's because his defense is so good.
Yeah.
And that you don't know what else, what is I mean, it's amazing, right? He's kind of done this unorthodox thing now for about 3-4 years. He's been pretty good, and nobody's really figured it out.
When we said that people may have figured it out, but it's probably just because Medvedev's level kind of dipped a little bit in terms of doing that same thing. But if he's doing that same thing at such a high level, guys haven't proven that they could figure it out. Like the only one that could is Djokovic, but it takes so much out of him.
Kyrgios a little bit. So I think guys
Kyrgios,
who
that's a good point.
I think guys who can hit big consistently, which makes you a great tennis player. But like, I think guys who consistently attack and like to come to the net can do better against him. Because that's the one big weakness, right? With the way Medvedev plays is that, and with the flatter ball, is that you actually can. He's actually an easier than average guy to come in against if you can put away the volleys.
Right. Which is why the matchup of the year, which I really want to see this year, is Alcaraz versus Medvedev on a hard court when they're both playing their best. Like, I'm taking off from work if they play, because like that's just going to be popcorn tennis. Like,
I also think like when he plays Tsitsipas, it's a pretty fun matchup, right? Because that's another one that, like, Tsitsipas is a guy where
it is, but Alcaraz can hit bigger on both wings from the baseline. You know, like, I feel like Medvedev can take advantage of Tsitsipas's backhand a little bit.
I feel like Tsitsipas is a little more willing to attack, and the backhand has gotten better. And he's made he continues to make improvements. So I actually would like to see that Medvedev Tsitsipas matchup this year too. I think those are probably the two favorite matchups. I mean, and obviously watching Medvedev play Djokovic is like one of my favorite It's probably my favorite matchup in the game right now. I want to see how
Alcaraz deals with it, because it's kind of unlike what Alcaraz usually sees, you know, and he's so young. I want to that will kind of give me an idea of how high his tennis IQ is.
It won't for me. It won't. Like, I would need to see a few run backs of that matchup, because I think it's one where Medvedev might win the first one and Alcaraz might like figure it out and come back like the second or third one.
Okay. Yeah. But Alcaraz transitions incredibly well to the net for his age.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's amazing.
And he's not bad once he gets there.
So I think that's a good transition to Buenos Aires. So what were your takeaways from that event? I
mean, so obviously Alcaraz is the easy one, right? But like, we also didn't see him play any other top guys, right? So like, it's good to see he's back in form. He's recovered from the injury, like yada yada. But you know, we want to see him play a little better. Or not play a little better. I want to see him beat more top guys. Norrie didn't look good the whole tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he really struggled against like second tier competition, right?
His level went up throughout the week, though. You have to give that to him. Like, to make a final there and make the final decently competitive, I don't think was I didn't expect that after like a 3-set marathon against Diaz Acosta, you know?
Right, but like, this is the thing, right? He had a 3-set marathon Diaz Acosta. He lost a set to Echeverry. I don't know, like, who did he beat in the semis? Varias? That was a decent.
Varias. It was 6 and
that was 6-4, 7-6. I pushed on that.
Yeah.
You won on that.
Right.
So like, I don't know.
I mean, do you still think he regrets playing here and not Delray Beach? I mean, I don't know. I still don't really understand his purpose behind playing this Golden Swing.
Is he playing Rio? He must be playing Rio.
Playing Rio.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so the obvious one could be appearance fee. I don't know. That would be the first guess. Otherwise, I don't really get it. Unless he's really preparing for Rio because he gets to prep. Be like, I guess if you're gonna pick your 500, like, you would pick.
Yeah. I guess it's probably the weakest 500 of the year, right?
Rio always is, though. Rio's a very weak 500 for the field. Like, if you look at this field, so we'll talk about when we get to the field, but like, the Rio 500 field is basically the same field as the Buenos Aires 250.
It is.
Which is basically the same field as Cordoba 250. Like, they basically, all these Americans got the same exact dudes. Like,
it's a little better than Cordoba. I mean, we have Alcaraz and Norrie, right? And Musetti.
Yeah, it's a little bit more, but like, after that, it's really not very different. Like, if you look at like the Rio field, like, it's not deep at all.
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Buenos Aires was better, but basically, like, I mean, it's like 90% overlap between the Buenos Aires guys and the Rio guys, which makes sense, right? Like, why would you just show up for a 500? But anyways, I guess that's why you wouldn't go to Delray Beach. If you're gonna go to Delray Beach, what's the next logical step? You take the Rio off and then go to Acapulco, I guess.
I guess, yeah. There's unless you want to travel to France and play 1 week in Marseille, you know, like I don't. Yeah.
Why would you do that, right? Why would you make that 3,000-mile trip, the trip back? Like, yeah, I don't really. And I doubt it's appearance fee because if you're going for appearance fee, Doha probably is the best appearance fee. I think Doha is the best appearance fees on the tour. They're known for that. They have huge prize money in that tournament. Like,
I don't know. Maybe Norrie just wants to improve his game on clay, and maybe make a better run in the spring and gain some points there. Maybe that, and I don't know.
Maybe,
but yeah, I mean, I thought he had a good week to make a final there and lose, 3-5 to Alcaraz.
I mean, it's hard to beat these clay grinders, right? But like, I mean, like I said, tiebreak with Acosta. Somewhat, he lost a set, and I think the third set was somewhat decent against Echeverry. Like, not the most impressive run, but not terrible. We'll give you that.
Right. Which is why I bet Norrie under 9 against Alcaraz. I mean, I thought that was a good bet because like Norrie wasn't playing so much higher than those guys, that Alcaraz was beating 2-2. Norrie beat Zapata 2-2.
Oh, I thought it was a great bet. You just almost missed. I mean, you came a game away from missing. Like, it was a great bet. That was a great bet. Like, it
was good. Yeah.
I hit Alcaraz 2-0. I actually thought that one of the sets might be competitive. Yeah. Ironically, Norrie plays Alcaraz very competitively. He's only won, I think, once, but he plays him very close.
Yeah, because he's mentally stronger than most of the guys on tour, and he's, very good tactically, right? He adjusts to what's coming to him better than a lot of guys.
I think the biggest thing is mental toughness. So I actually looked at this. Yeah. Norrie's only lost one set all year so far, worse than 6-2. Or worse than 6-3.
Because he has
more than one break, which is pretty good.
He has tremendous rally tolerance.
My point is, like, he's the guy that's gonna pick up games, Norrie.
Right.
Like, he's gonna do decently well in every match. Like, honestly, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered because the line was 5. The spread was basically 5 to 5.5, depending on what odds going to lie. And basically, Vegas got it right.
They got it perfect.
But I thought that, like, I was worried because Norrie hadn't played well during the week. But, like, I probably should have taken Norrie and taken the 5 because, like, Norrie just plays anybody he plays competitively.
Mm-hmm.
Because he just competes and he competes. And
who is he going to be +5 against other than Alcaraz, or Djokovic? Like, there are very, very few guys who I feel like Vegas are going to give him better than +5. I mean, I'd take him at +4.5 against, like, say, a Sinner, for example.
That's not the conversation. The conversation is when you take him +4.5 against Medevedev. That's a conversation. That's the conversation.
You're right. But the way he plays these guys tough. Like, he has good rally tolerance. He stays in mentally. He competes. I don't know, but like on paper, it's such a bad matchup.
Let me ask you this: is there anybody who you would take Norrie? You would take -6 against Norrie at +200?
Probably Alcaraz or Djokovic on clay, or Nadal on clay. One of those 3 guys on clay. That's it.
And you would take them -6 against Norrie if you're getting plus.
If you're getting +200, yes.
Okay.
I took the -5 for Alcaraz. -5.5. No, but 5, I would take it. Basically that's what I'm doing when I'm taking under 9 games, right? That's
right. Yeah, I wasn't surprised. So you hit it a little bit differently, but I didn't hit it because I thought it was a perfect line, the -5. I thought the 2 sets line was better because it wasn't that much, like, it was like only -150. You weren't like that much more juice than you were at the -5. And I thought that -5 was just like, I thought it was the perfect line. Like, I thought I could have gone either way. I mean, I thought, which ended up being right, which is why I didn't hit it.
It's right. It's a great line. Yeah. I mean, if I get,
which is why I asked the question, because if -5 is the right line versus Alcaraz on clay, does that mean that Norrie, there's no line ever that's worse than -5 from Norrie? It's probably true.
It's just his compete level is so high, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Really
which is pretty cool. Like, because he doesn't have like what you would consider to be like that much like quote unquote game. But we're saying like he's competitive within a break of any guy in the world on basically any surface, which is kind of cool.
Well, he also doesn't beat himself ever, right?
Yeah, he does.
Like
I mean, he's mentally tough. He doesn't beat himself. He
like
plays smart.
Rublev against, you know, one of these guys, like
He just doesn't believe he can win. Rublev just like he just gives up. Like
that's true.
he just mentally doesn't. I mean, that's what it appears like. He mentally appears like he doesn't believe he can win. And we've seen that with him. Like there was the weird match versus Rude at the ATP World Tour Finals where he looked like KO'd after the first set. Like he looked like he didn't know how like what was going to do. Like it's an interesting issue
Djokovic
that has.
Djokovic against in the Australian Open. Like he just, I don't think he believed he could win. You know, like.
But I'm saying like so Djokovic has one thing, right? But like he didn't believe he could win against Rude in the World Tour Finals.
I know. Well, it's part of the reason why I fade Rublev a lot. You know, even though he's a top 10 player, it's just I don't know. That's my stock is not very high on Rublev, but I'm surprised he's not playing any of these events.
Isn't he? I thought he was playing one of them this week and he just hasn't played yet.
He's playing Doha, maybe.
Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong with stuff before.
Yeah. Any other takeaways from Buenos Aires besides those two guys?
Varias was really good. JP Varias, Juan Pablo Varias was really good. I mean, he played really, really good matches. He played Norrie tough. He beat Team. Who else did he beat?
Beat Musetti. Which
beat Musetti.
I don't know if that's saying much.
I mean, it's always tough, right? Like,
I guess there are not many women in Buenos Aires, but there are a lot in Rio.
Well, right. I mean, and like why? But like, you know, Musetti was already in the quarters at this point, so like it's like the weekend. Like he's only got to play a couple more matches. Like, you know, whereas like if he goes to Rio and plays like the whole tournament, that's like a whole week he's got to stay in tune. That's a lot to ask. Like you really, Manny, if you were in Rio, would you really want to go to the pharmacy for the week, or would you rather hang out in the clubs?
Well, obviously, I'd rather hang out in the clubs, but you know, you need some singles to throw it in. You know, you need to earn some money to blow it at the strip club.
Musetti may not need to go to the strip club. He probably goes to like the real dance clubs. And, you know, he probably does pretty well. He's a good looking dude. He's got that shirtless pic on Tennis Abstract, I think, right? Like, I'm the only tennis dude I've ever seen with a shirtless pic anywhere, by the way.
Yeah, but
he's definitely in the dance club. He's not going to the strip club. He's definitely a dance club guy.
He's a dance club guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's probably doing pretty well. I mean, he's a pro athlete, athletic body type, like.
He's doing pretty well. Can we beat Nicholas Jarry at least? Like, or can we like do better than 4-1? I mean, seriously.
I hit the money line on -200. That's got to be like my like.
Worst bet of the year.
Bad about it though. Like he should win that match 2/3 of the time. He's a better player than Jarry.
He is. I mean, I hit it in two ways. I hit over 21.5 because I thought Musetti is a better player, but you know, Jarry has a big serve, so I thought it could go, you know, 3 sets. And I hit Musetti over 12.5. You know?
And you got 5. Like usually when you hit a guy over 12.5, your worry is them like winning too easily and getting 12. But in this case, you only got 5.
Yeah. Now he's
just that is a terrible effort though from Musetti. That's a terrible effort.
I just think, you know, what I've seen from this match against Varias in Buenos Aires and today, he's just a guy you just stay away from. Like
I think so, dude. So much talent, but like you just don't know day to day what he's gonna do. And like that's my lesson is like I thought like 2/3 of the time he's gonna show up to the match and like maybe I don't even know if I feel bad about that though, because like I think he probably does show up 2/3 of the time. It's just like, but he's really hard to hit him on like I don't know. It's just really hard to hit him in general.
But the thing is, his talent like shows that he can beat literally anyone in the world. Like he beat Alcaraz at Hamburg in a final.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, like
100%.
He took Tsitsipas to 5 sets. Like if that's a 2 out of 3 match, he wins that match. He was up 2 sets to love. Like he was up 2 sets against Djokovic at the French. You know, like his talent is, you know, second to none, right? He can beat literally anyone in the world. But he can lose to these guys like, you know, like Nicholas Jarry. You know, like it just tells me everything about like what we've seen the last 2 weeks just tells me just stay away from Musetti. Just don't.
He's probably a toxic guy you just stay away from.
Yeah. He might be one of the top, like if we make a spreadsheet of like guys to stay away from, he's probably number one on that list.
He probably is. At least like Bublik. Like Bublik's a clown, but I feel like you can a lot of times trust him to get to 12.5.
Right. So I bet today
overs,
against who did he play today? Krajinovic over 12.5. It hit. You know?
I hit the over on that match over 22.5, but it's basically the same thing and it hit.
Yeah. But at least Bublik you can hit that because of his big serve. Musetti doesn't have a big serve, right?
So well, that and be like I feel like Musetti like I don't know, man. Like, yeah, Musetti just like he just sometimes just doesn't want to be there. And just when he just doesn't want to be there, he's like he's not there. Like when he doesn't want to be there, he's just like doesn't care, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, not really. It was, and we talked about everything else probably in the first podcast. So, like, other than that, in terms of like guys who did really well, not really much else.
Did you watch the Zapata Cerundolo match? Wasn't that like crazy? Because like the over, you bet the 2.5 over 2.5 sets. I bet the over 21. And didn't like Cerundolo have like 5-3 in the second set or something, and then Zapata broke back and had match point or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was insane. Yeah, this was insane. Yeah, well that's right. I did watch this. We got there, and this was insane because it was insane. It was so back and forth the second set that like. It was terrifying. It was like the biggest heart attack ever to get to like a third set. Like,
I think we both got there, right? Because Cerundolo.
Yeah, because I got there with the over 2.5 sets, so I got paid a little bit better. But Cerundolo was up like 5-3, and then like choked it down. It was down 6-5, and then came back and then won the tiebreak. But like, I mean,
oh man,
Zapata's tough, man, on clay. Like he's a real player on clay.
He is. He made French Open last year. So it's good.
And gave Zverev a tough match, right? Didn't he give Zverev at least a couple tough tiebreaks?
Yeah. So Delray Beach. You take much stock in Fritz's victory?
Fritz looked a lot better.
Yeah.
So just a little close on Musetti. Last year Musetti was 33-12 against guys outside the top 50. And 17-6 against guys outside the top 100. That's bad.
That is bad.
For a guy of his talent, that is almost inexcusable. I mean, to lose...
Pure stay away.
To lose a third of the time against guys, not a third, but like, whatever, like 30% of the time against guys who are outside the top 100 is not good.
Not good.
So, yeah, he's a pure stay away.
And I'm
moving to Delray Beach. Yeah, Fritz looked actually pretty good against Mannarino. The first set, Mannarino played really well, and Fritz still got him 7-6. And the McDonald-Fritz match was actually really cool. Fritz went up 5-0, and both guys made adjustments in how they played. So that was really cool. Like, McDonald started to go more to the backhand. He started to really target Fritz's backhand, like very intentionally in a way that most MATP guys don't.
Okay.
Which
I did not see the match.
What?
I did not see the match, so that's interesting to see.
Yeah, so like McDonald made some really good mental adjustments, and then Fritz readjusted and started to get his backhand like into better tune and started to hit his backhand better. And started to like play the ball deeper on McDonald, which gave McDonald more trouble because he's trying to flatten out. So if he's further, and McDonald plays pretty far up. Mm-hmm. So it was cool to see them like actually adjust to each other. It was cool to see Fritz like make a mental adjustment, right? Because that was one of our big complaints about him.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I was impressed with Fritz. You know, I did not see the Albot match, but not the Albot. Is that who? No, Kecmanovic match. Sorry,
Kecmanovic. Yeah.
I can't believe Albot made a semi. And actually should have won. He should have beat
Kecmanovic, yeah.
He was up a break in the third on Kecmanovic. And Albot just like he made so many bad errors. Like it's so weird.
Well, we were complaining about him, you know, when he's playing Verdasco. Like it was 6-6 against Verdasco. I mean,
yeah.
you know, but How about that Albot Paul match? I hit the under 20.5 and it hit, but
I don't think Paul wanted to be there.
Too.
I wouldn't be surprised if Paul was collecting an appearance fee, and like I would love to see Tommy Paul's finances. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a plane ticket already booked. Like,
well, he wanted to watch his boy Tiafo at the Celebrity All-Star game, right?
Right, and he got out of there at 6:55. Like he got that match. He got back to the locker room in time to see the intro for the Celebrity game. Tiafo was introduced like near the end. Like Tiafo wasn't actually introduced to like 7:10, 7:15.
So there was a rain delay in the Jerome Kekmanovic match, which pushed the day session back. So I'm curious to see if like that match happened when it was supposed to. Would Paul actually give a shit?
Maybe. I mean, maybe he just really, maybe like he did not give a shit on the tournament and really wanted to watch his boy in the Celebrity game. Like, dude, Celebrity game's a big deal, man. Like, how often do you get to play in the Celebrity?
But that's what it really seemed like, that he just wanted to get out of there. You know, just.
I mean, he really did. Like, he really seemed like he had a 7 o'clock hard stop.
2-2
like,
against
he had a
Albot,
flight out, or like something was going down, because he looked like he wanted to get out of there by 7 o'clock, and he got out of there like at 6:55.
I'm so glad I hit the under 20.5 instead of like Paul minus 4.5 or 5.5, which I was like on the fence. Which one should I hit?
Yeah.
I mean, I was never going Albot there ever. Like it was only Paul, you know?
Yeah.
But which Paul line did I like better? But I mean, that's a joke. And I thought, you know, like Klaus actually shouted out on the Twitter feed, the Manarino plus 4.5 against Fritz was a good hit. I mean, there's no reason why Fritz should have.
Oh, that was a little scary. Manarino was down 5-2. Fritz surfboard at 5-2, and Manarino actually had to break him back to get there. But Manarino played a great match. Actually, this was actually a really good match. Manarino played pretty darn well. Fritz, like I said, Fritz actually played like pretty good this week. So I was actually like pretty impressed by I don't want to say impressed. Like I want to see him beat guys who are
some better
the top 20.
Right, exactly.
But I mean, we had complained that Fritz struggled a lot and led a lot of top 20 competition in the game. He did a little better job of not doing that this week. So I don't think he dropped a set. I don't think. So
no, he dropped a set to Kecmanovic. The second set,
he dropped a set in the final. Right. You're right. Yes, he did. Yeah. But he played. I didn't see the final, so which is why I forgot. But he played like okay-ish. I don't know.
I think he's off this week, right? And then he plays.
Yeah, he's off this week. I'm guessing he'll show up for Acapulco.
Yeah.
Is Acapulco next week?
It's next week. Dubai and Acapulco, 2 500s next week. So. Yeah, I mean, I don't regret hitting the Manarino money line against Fritz at plus 340. I mean, like
I don't either. The first set was really good. Manarino could have won the first set.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Kecmanovic is still a guy I'm probably gonna fade. I don't really have too much.
I'm actually not as down on Kecmanovic anymore. Like, so we got a little hyped up about him not playing well for like 6 months, but all that was fast hardcourt. I think he's just a guy like who, unless it's got to be medium, slow, hard, or it's got to be clay, and that's it. And you just do not touch him. You don't bet him on anything fast because he can't play fast court tennis.
So he did well at this part of the year last year. Like he did really well in Indian Wells and Miami. I think
because those are two slow hard courts.
Yeah, it's true. I was disappointed in Giron. I mean, that was not.
I mean, we can talk about that a little bit. Like, how frustrating is it to watch Giron when he's not at his best? Like, just his mental attitude is so shitty.
It is.
Like, he looks like he wants to cry on the court.
I know, literally.
And he's like whining about like anything he can find to whine about. Like,
yeah, he just ticked me off that entire match. Like,
more his attitude and his body language and his behavior than even his tennis. Like. I mean, he played a shit match, but like, you'd rather see a guy like grind and like really like try. Like there's two ways you can take playing shitty. You can take it as like, okay, like the world is over, I'm gonna lose today, and like I should just pack my bags and get out of the tournament as fast as possible. Mm-hmm. Or you can be like, okay, like I'm playing like shit. You know what that means? That means like if I'm playing like shit and it's a close match, that means if I play any better, if I find my game, then I'm gonna win.
I'm gonna win,
right? Like, so you could be like positive about it and be like, okay, I just gotta like grind and find my game. Like that's what the top guys do. Like Djokovic goes through lulls too, right? Like
everyone does. It's human.
Right? Like, so what these other top guys, when they're going through lulls, like they are like, all right, like gotta get through this, gotta play a little more conservatively, get in my game, get my rhythm
Giron
back.
would have in that match. I saw the whole thing. I mean, Giron would have 15-40. You know, it would be a long rally. Kekmanovic would hit a good shot. Giron would miss a ball, and he'd have a meltdown on the court. And then obviously the next 3 points he lost easily.
And it was stupid stuff. He would just like hit balls out because he was like depressed.
Right, exactly. And it's just it's so bad. Yeah, I was so disappointed. I thought he was the better tennis player, but it's just hit like the mental makeup is actually what caused him to lose that match. And it was just frustrating, you know. So I thought that was a good line.
And I've always thought Giron, like, and maybe it's just more because like I haven't really like seen enough of him, but like I've always thought Giron was like a tough grinder pro who just wasn't like, because he's not that good. He's like not good enough to whine. Like Musetti's amazing. Musetti's super talented, right? So if he wants to cry and like blow a match for no reason, like
Musetti doesn't whine.
He just loses it because he's like so talented.
Hang out with the girls at the dance club.
Right, but like, I don't know. Like I think Musetti's getting more girls at the dance club than Giron is.
I agree with that. I would expect that.
I think the line is like Musetti -8 or something on that. Only on girls at the dance club.
Yeah, I would say that. -8 is your line?
Yeah.
I might go with 8.5. I think 8 is plus money.
8 is plus 105.
I agree. Yeah, 8 is plus 105. Yeah. All right. So that's good for last week. Interesting week. 3 favorites won. I mean, Alcaraz, Medvedev, and Fritz. I think they were all favorites to win those events.
Yeah, they were. So, who was the top seed in Tsitsipas was.
Tsitsipas, yeah.
But you're right. Medvedev was the pre-tournament favorite. I'm pretty sure.
He was plus 300. Medvedev, Tsitsipas, I think, was plus 400.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, let's transition to this week's tournament. So we'll start with Doha. How do you want to do this? You want to go over? Let's just kind of run through the draws. I think that's probably the best.
In terms of bets, I didn't have the only bet I had here was Leshen plus 3.5 against Fokina so far today, and that did not come through.
Yeah, today I had. Let me see. Oh, I had O'Connell minus 3.5 against Verdasco. I had Murray over 12.5 against Sonego.
What happened? Did O'Connell beat Verdasco?
O'Connell, yeah, he won 6-love in the third. So I think it was like 6-2, 3-6, 6-love or something like that. So I hit the minus 3.5, but it's just Verdasco's so bad. Like I'm gonna fade him. You know, I know he trains in Doha and like he lives there, you know, but like still, it's just. He really needs to retire, man. I mean, he's Murray over 12.5. That was a good hit, actually. I was not sure how to play this match. And when I was reviewing the lines, I was like, that's the only way I'm gonna play it because like the like tennis wise, they might not be that different. Sonego actually outplayed Murray in a lot of parts of this match, but the mental gap is huge. Right?
Yeah.
The mental gap is humongous. So it's like Murray is, you know, if he loses a set, it's probably going to be like 6-4. And if he wins sets, it could be a 6-2, and it could be like really close. And that's exactly what happened. So that was a good hit. Karatsev against Kugler over 2.5. That ended up being pushed because Karatsev retired. And then I also live hit Lestien against Fokina because there were so many breaks. And I think I live hit this at Lestien when he was down 5-3 in the second at plus 1,000.
Yeah.
But there were so many breaks that I felt like, you know, if Lestien could hit it 5-all, win the second, like I thought that there was value there. I mean, it obviously didn't hit, but so those were my 4 bets today. But yeah, in terms of the draw, so we got Rublev as the 1 seed.
So he is here, he's in Doha,
Yeah.
But he's got a tough draw, man. That's a really tough quarter.
That is
like I was looking at saying I was trying to find futures bets to hit here, and I only found one, and it was not Rublev. I just think this is a really tough quarter.
So I bet Lechka to win the quarter. That was my
That was like plus 450 or something, right?
something like that. I parlayed it with Alcaraz to win Rio.
The problem is like the issue I have with that is that he's got to beat Rublev and he's got to beat the winner of Rusevori Evans, which like
I think he beats.
Like there's two spots that he could trip up. Like I think he should beat the winner of Rusevori Evans, but that's not a guarantee. And then Rublev is not a guarantee at all. Like this is a really tough quarter. Like there's a lot. Like there's a lot of like this whole quarter. I mean, the only guy in this quarter who's not tough is Zoomer.
I'd agree with that.
Evans and Rusevori are good players. They're just playing like shit right now.
Now tomorrow, I mean Hallis. So Hallis Griekspoor. I think Griekspoor might have a slight hangover from that run in Rotterdam.
I've got this at over 23 as my bet here.
But do you think Griekspoor will be mentally there totally after that run? That's what I'm worried about.
That's why I didn't hit Griekspoor, but I felt good enough. Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, I'm hitting Hallis. Just because of that fact.
The line there is now Hallis +2. The problem is I think this is like a medium fast surface. Hallis has been playing most of the fast French inboard. Like I think it's like a medium speed surface. I think it's about as neutral as it gets. Might even be a little bit slow. Hallis has been playing mostly fast court tournaments. So I'm a little like the French indoor courts are pretty fast. So I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah, they played once in 2018. That doesn't really say much. It's a tight match.
That's why I took the over 23. Like,
and both kind of serve big.
Don't have the best games for return. Griekspoor's probably a better guy on the return, but he's a pure ball striker. But he's not necessarily that good of a returner because his movement is like it's good, but it's not amazing.
I'm sticking with Hallis money line because I'm expecting a slight Griekspoor hangover from.
He didn't go that deep though, so there's not really I don't think there's really a travel angle to play here because he lost him what? Yeah, it's pretty deep. Only 2 days off, maybe. Is that match tomorrow? It is, and it's in the morning.
It is tomorrow.
You know what? You convinced. Well,
and Hallis has been pretty good. You know, like
he has, but it's been on faster surfaces. That's my concern. And that would make sense, right? Like his game, he would want to be on faster surfaces.
I think Doha is pretty fast.
I've got a chart actually that has this. Let me look at my court speed chart. This is when you know you're doing your research.
Yeah, I mean, the commentators today said it was a fast court. I mean, I don't necessarily.
Now, it could be playing faster. Like, you never know how it's playing in a given year, and this is old data. But from my old data that I have, Doha. I have multiple sites also that list this. That's how crazy I am. Well, because the one set I was using didn't have like all the tournaments listed. So then I went to one that had everything that was a 500 or above listed.
If Musetti only played as hard as we do tennis research, I mean, that would be.
I know. It'd be amazing, right? And if we were as good at like certain things in life as Musetti is, like we probably would do a lot better in life too. Unfortunately, our specialty is tennis research.
That's a good point.
Doha. Yeah, I mean it's pretty average. But this is old data. The most updated data I could find is 19, so maybe he's playing a little faster now, but it's definitely not as fast. Like Marseille is fast. I mean, he's not playing Marseille, but like these French hardcores, Montpellier is a fast indoor hard. Like those French.
But I'm also considering Hallis got there earlier, right? Had some practice time. Right, Griekspoor probably just got there. I'm
not saying like Griekspoor minus the 2. That's why I'm saying like I think this line is pretty good. I took the over 23. I think that like
Yeah, but what I'm
Even
saying is I'm taking the plus money here because I think it's so close.
I don't hate it. I'm not gonna do it, but I don't hate it. I'm okay with plus money here. If it was anything minus money, I wouldn't be, but I don't
Yeah.
hate it here as plus money. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough first round match for Rublev. I'm curious to see what that line is. Like that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I actually think it's a really good opportunity to hit one of these guys. I think you'll get pretty good odds. And I think I love the idea of hitting either the winner of that to win a set off for Rublev.
yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, and
we got Dahmer Zoomer. So I guess the next match down, we got Dahmer Zoomer against Lechka.
Is that match tomorrow as well?
It is.
I'll pull up Bovada.
The line is Zoomer +5. Zoomer stinks now.
Zoomer stinks.
Like he's an old veteran that's not good anymore. But he did qualify. Lechka's off a long layoff. I think the only thing he's played since the Australian Open was a Davis Cup match.
Mm-hmm.
For me, this is a complete stay away.
It's just Zoomer is so underpowered against Lechka. Like, how is he going to win points?
But 5 is a lot of games.
It is.
And like, what else are you going to lay here? You're going to lay, like, do you prefer to lay a set and a half? Do you prefer to play an over under a 20? Like, I don't like any of those. Like,
yeah, it's really not great. It's.
I think it's about as close to a stay
minus one and a half.
Like
I would hit Lechka minus 1.5 sets, but you're laying so much juice here.
I think you're laying way too much juice. Like he could just play a bad set because he's like playing his way in the tournament, right? Like I don't like this.
It's a stay away. It's definitely a stay away. And then over 20.5, like if does Lechka come out firing, then it's clearly under. But if it's like,
oh, this is all about Lechka. This is just like how is Lechka playing after a long layoff? I don't like it. I'm a pure stay away here.
I like him more in the futures here, right? Just because like he's been so good this year and like he's such a good tennis player.
I do. I just think like he'll beat Zoomer because he's too good not to. Yeah. But he's then got to play the winner of Ruusuvuori Evans, who like both of these guys have stunk so far this year. But
I was looking at that line. That line is tomorrow as well. And it's like, what do I do here? Because like both guys are terrible right now.
Oh, it's a complete stay away for me as well. Like I have very little that I want to play here in Doha. I have very few plays. Like, see, now he's plus 300. Like, is that really good odds for Lechka? Like, he's going to have to probably beat Rublev.
Yeah, it's a pretty deep quarter. I think he's really the only guy you could play here, right?
I mean, I toured with the idea of Rublev at plus 110 because he's the only guy to win 2 matches. And it's 2 guys he should beat. Like, he should, but Lechka's pretty tough. I'm not, I wouldn't want to hit it, but like I toy with it. I think that, I've only got one play here and it's not on the top quarter in terms of futures.
Okay. I mean, as we go through the quarters, you can reveal your
I can reveal my play.
Reveal your play, yeah. Ruusuvuori Evans, so you're just staying away. I mean it's a total.
It's a dead pick'em.
It's a dead pick'em.
And that's the right line. Like both of you guys have been so awful. Now even like the over the under, like these guys have both been so shady this year. Like I have no interest in playing this at all. Like, which one of these guys do you trust to beat the other one?
I'd slightly trust Ruusuvuori here. Slightly. I think Evans
enough to hit minus 115.
Yeah, Evans has shown too much like choking this year. He's choked so many matches away. Like what's the over 2.5 set line? Plus 125. That's probably the lowest 2.5 set line you're going to ever get.
It is. I hate that line here.
Yeah.
Because like the thing is like I don't trust either of these guys to show up. It's also like Doha really scares me because my understanding is they pay really high appearance fees, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just see you guys like not being fully invested.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Or just playing like shit. Maybe they are investing, they play like shit, but like there's just, I mean, Evans lost to Mejia.
I know. I know that was Clay, but it's just like not a good loss.
It's not a good loss. There's no excuse for that. And he got whooped by Rublev at the Aussie. Like Evans has 3 wins this year. Ramos Vinolas at the United Cup, who's also been terrible, and that was on a hard court. And then he's got Bagnus at the Australian Open where he dropped a set to Facundo Bagnus, and he beat Chardy.
That's really bad.
Like those are not like none of those are ATP level wins.
But go over his losses because so many. I feel like a lot of his losses have been choke jobs.
He lost to Kubler in Straits United Cup. Evans, he lost to Tiafoe in
but that Kubler loss was he was up 5-love in the second and he choked it.
That's right. Fair enough. Lost Tiafoe in 3. Lost to Mack. He was up 5-2 in the second and choked that. I had Evans in that one. That was terrible.
Right.
And played a horrendous match against, not a horrendous match, but he got whooped by Rublev 4-2 and 3. I mean, he's just not good this year.
I know.
But like Rusevori hasn't been good either. Rusevori.
Yeah, but that 7-5 first set against Tsitsipas at least gives me some hope. You know, like
I hear you. It's just I don't think even Rusevori is the better tennis player, right? Like if you ask me who the better tennis player is Rusevori the better tennis player?
No. On their best day, I'd pick Evans, but I mean,
so you really want to lay -115 to pick a worse player?
I'm saying I believe it's a stay away. I kind of want to play the match.
I want to just for funsies, but I think it's a stay away. Like,
yeah, I know. All right, let's move on to the next quarter. So we got Zverev against Murray, second round match. I mean,
I'm really excited to see. I haven't seen a line on that yet, but I'm really excited to see what that looks like. That line, in fact, it might be out. It should be out.
It should be out. So what's your guess?
And if it is, we should hit that. We should look at that now because that line might move.
It might move. Yeah.
Murray's plus 130. That's a hit. I'm hitting that right now. Murray's gonna get Murray will get an off day. That's not until tomorrow.
Wednesday. Right. It's not.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. So
he'll have an off day, so he'll be fine.
I'm hammering Murray there. Why do we think Zverev's been terrible? Why do we like Murray is competent and Murray's mentally tough too? Like
I agree with you.
Post match,
the mental gap is massive here. Actually,
it actually is.
Because Murray's one of probably the top 10 mentally toughest guys of all time.
Yeah. I was saying if you're telling me top 10 on the tour, I'm like, man, he's like, wait, that's disrespectful.
Top 10 like, mental
top 10
toughness.
all time. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
Right. I mean, the guy's mentally insane. Like to come back from.
I can't believe the books are still gonna give me plus 130 on Murray. But
that being said, I would never I might hit a Zverev first set line here. And then hit a Murray money line. Like I might hit the LWW here because Murray starts very slow.
Yeah.
He has a track record of it. Like Kokkinakis, lost the first 2 sets. You know.
Well, Kokkinakis just choked. I don't think that was anything about starting slow. That was just a choke job.
Kokkinakis won the first 2 sets there.
Yeah, it was a choke job by Kokkinakis. Kokkinakis was up a break in the third, I think, twice also. Like Kokkinakis choked.
What I'm saying is Murray started slow. You know, like even today.
I don't think Murray started slow. I think Kokkinakis choked.
Okay.
I think if you want to tell me today, that's a different story.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna hammer Murray here too.
I think the Murray money line is the play though. I
agree. Murray 2 sets to love at plus 280. Does that entice you?
Yeah. I'll probably hit that as well. In fact, I'm going to right now before that moves.
3 sets at plus 130. I don't like.
No.
I think, it's a pick your favorite Murray line match.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna hit the Murray money line as well. Put 1.5 units on it. Call it a day.
I'm also hitting the Murray plus 280. You know what? Maybe not. That's really not that good of a line. I like the Murray money line better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think like Murray has like a track record of starting slow recently. Like he started all these matches tend to be marathons, and I think with Murray and the fact that he has a mental edge against Zverev, I think that kind of allows it makes the money line more enticing. But yeah, I would need plus 300 there at least.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I just think yeah, I agree.
It was interesting. Klaus said on Facebook, he was wondering like what we're thinking there.
On Facebook or Twitter?
On Twitter.
Right,
Twitter.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I said that if Murray comes out as plus money, I'm hammering Murray, so I'm going to back it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was expecting that line to kind of be there because the books tend to give Zverev a lot of respect,
which is amazing because, like,
crazy.
What has Zverev shown you since
Nothing.
The injury? Nothing. He lost to Emo. No, but if you look at this, right, like, it's like, and like, Zverev just pisses me off too. Like,
he does.
I will never forget his level of excitement after beating Varias on a fast hard court in Australia in a 5-set thriller. And be like, it's in my head. It's in my head. Like, no other top player is getting pumped up. After any other top player would be like, I lost to a clay quarter who like has to qualify for clay for like Buenos Aires in 5 sets. Like, this is an embarrassment. And I'm gonna prove like that I'm better in the next round. Not like, oh, it's my head. It's my fucking head. Like
it was like the same reaction that Wawrinka had when he beat Djokovic at the U.S. Open. Like
exactly.
Temple, like, huh? Like, yeah. No, it's true. He just pisses me off, and like I don't regret any of the bets I placed against him this year, even the bets I lost. Like that bet to Kwon last week, like that was 4 and 6. It could have easily gotten complicated. Greek Sport, that was a great hit at plus 205.
I mean, so Zverev's wins this year are Varias in 5 sets. He beat Wawrinka pretty good at Davis Cup.
Okay.
And Kwon in a pretty tough 2-setter.
And that's it?
In Rotterdam. And that's it.
Wow. That's crazy. And he lost to Huesler. He lost to Emo. He lost to Greek Sport.
Yeah.
He lost to Lechka, right?
And Fritz.
Oh, and Fritz.
Like, Fritz is fine. Lehechka's even fine. Like,
that's fine too. Player. I mean, we got that at plus 550 beginning of the year. That's one of the best of the year. So.
But like losing to Emo, that's not good.
No.
Losing, yeah.
All right. So going forward in that quarter, Bash against
Bash versus Mueller. Oh God, Bash is playing a little better though, actually.
Well, okay. I mean, we could say that, but Bash, didn't he win this tournament a couple of years ago?
He may have.
So it's like a place where he plays pretty decently. It's always dangerous to play guys that like played well in a certain place. Where they feel comfortable. I don't know. To me, that's a stay away because he's also playing a challenger level player.
No, he made the finals last year, Bash did.
And lost to Bautista.
The RBA here. RBA's the defending champ.
Wow. Made the final.
Last year.
Was his precipitous downfall after that? Or
yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's been terrible since then.
Yeah.
He has such a good name.
Basilashvili. I mean, he's a slight favorite against Mueller.
Yeah, I
mean, I don't know.
But like I don't know. He beat he's winning matches again. He beat Leshen. But then he lost Leshen at Rotterdam. Actually, he's really not playing better. He beat Sam Ilkel and Max Hukas. That's really not that impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a stay away. It's pretty much a pick 'em. You know, Muller is also challenger level player. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. Wow, Bash was the number 30. That was the 3 seed here last year. It's amazing how precipitously he's fallen off. He was in the top 20 last year going into Indian Wells.
Crazy. The thing is, like, you know, if Bash plays badly, he plays really badly and he just misses everything. So I would think like playing a Bash opponent 2 sets to love is like a good play. But you're only getting plus 220 here, which is just not that good.
Yeah. But maybe it's yeah.
So I don't like any of these lines, to be honest.
And Mueller's not good either. Like he's had a good week in qualifying. He beat Zhang, and he beat Machak, but
decent. But
he's gonna lost him on Montpellier to Clement Chidek, guy ranked like 400 something in the world. Yeah, like
that's the thing. It's like, you know, you don't know how he's gonna show up. Like,
yeah.
So I'm staying away. There's so many other good matches tomorrow. Like I'm not like regretting not playing this. Like if this was a final, I'd play it, but like I'm not gonna play it. I mean this portion of the draw, like Ivashka and Van de Zandschulp, like another 2 guys that are really struggling right now.
This quarter is amazingly weak, man.
It's so weak. Like Murray is probably the favorite.
And the only reason I didn't hit the Murray futures here was because I was worried about if he could beat Sonego.
Yeah.
And because I was legitimately worried about, like, I'm still concerned as to whether or not Murray can make a run on, like, well, honestly, like, how would you not, like, what is Murray now in terms of futures? Like, is there, like, this might be a spot where now you hit Murray to win the quarter.
Where was
he's plus 225 to win the quarter, to win 2 matches, to beat Zverev and then to beat the winner of that awful section.
I like it.
I'm hitting it. He could lose to Zverev on Wednesday,
yeah, but then the quarterfinal is going to be easy.
Yeah.
Because Bodek and Ivashka are playing so badly right now. Like I don't even know what to hit there. Because like I guess lean Ivashka as a slight underdog, but it's just like.
But he's barely an underdog. Like I looked at this line.
No.
And they're just both so bad.
But also Bodek beat him at the Australian Open. I hit Ivashka plus 1.5 sets. He couldn't even cover that. Like,
but Ivashka had 1 million break points.
He did. But it wasn't good tennis. It was just like.
So why would you hit this?
Yeah, I mean it's a stay away.
Yeah.
But yeah, Murray at plus 225 to win the quarter is pretty good.
I hit it already. I think that's great. I mean, now because I think it was like plus 300 or plus 350 or something before the Ivashka match or before the Sonego match. And honestly, that was the match I was worried about. That's why I didn't hit it before the tournament.
Yeah, that might actually be as tough as match. Like Klaus was like, "Oh, what do you think of that line?" And it's like, I don't even know if he gets past Sonego.
Right, like that was my biggest fear in this tournament for Murray. Not in the tournament, but in this quarter was getting past Sonego.
Yeah. So Ivashka Bodek is a stay away for both of us. Bautista Gudfušević.
The line here is 4. At least it was 4 when I looked at this a couple days ago. It still is 4.
It's still 4.
February RBA, not January RBA. It is now February.
It's I feel like Doha has so many matchups with players that are just struggling. Like 2 guys that are struggling. You know?
Agut's not bad. Hasn't been that bad though. He hasn't been good, but he is winning matches. He's just not beating good players.
Vucevic has actually been quite bad since the Australian Open, to be honest.
He's been really bad.
Yeah. Like 4 seems like a lot, but if you look at how Vucevic has done since the Australian, like it's been bad.
Since the Australian, he lost to Manarino 6-2, Hugo Humbert 3-2. He beat Blanchino in that awful match that we were like that we had Blanchino and like Blanchino came back and then chunked away the third. Yeah.
He just gave up against Sinner, like didn't even show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you saw that match, Ugo and Vucevic at Davis Cup, right? You were disgusted.
Yeah, I watched that match. It was terrible. I mean, Ugo played like decently well. Vucevic played horrible.
But 4 is a lot. I mean, Bautista Agut plays well here. Like
I'm laying the 4 here. Agut's the defending champ. And like Vucevic has been so bad. Like Agut, I feel like he's gonna show up to every tournament and play a decent match. Like,
what's the -1? I might hit it this way. 2 sets to love at -120.
It's the same odds you're getting though, right? For -4 and -120.
Yeah, but if you get like 6 and 4, well, yeah, I mean.
But Vucevic could easily give up a 6-2 here. Like you could actually get this to cover and go 3. That's not out of the cards.
So you think the chances are better of a 6-2 set than a 3-set match here?
I think the chances are better of a 6-2 set than of a 7-6, 7-5 or 7-6, 6-4 type result. Yeah.
So you'd rather lay the 4?
Yeah, I actually feel pretty good laying the 4. Like, yeah, because I think that. Yeah, I mean, I think, and obviously, like, you never know. Like, Agut lost a set to Haas, so like, what do I know? But like, I don't know. Like, Agut, I mean, like, I don't think he's been that horrible. Like, he lost to Hubie in the first round of Rotterdam, but like, that was a decent match.
That was a good match. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like,
and he played pretty well to stay in that match. Yeah. He likes the conditions. He's played well in the past here. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna tail you on that. -4. I like it. All right. Sounds good. And then he would play the winner of he would play O'Connell, which I think he should get past that against.
This is a joke of a quarter for Medvedev.
It is.
Like the only guy who's a moderate challenge is Agut. But like if you look at this at the futures, the line here is terrible for Medvedev. It's like -190 or something to get to the semis.
I think it's even better now. It's 225. Jesus.
There's just no value there, right?
Yeah, but I think if you parlay it with Murray, you can like boost the odds.
Yeah. Well, and what is the I mean, is anybody else in that draw besides Agut? Like who does Medvedev play in the round? Who's the guy who is Medvedev's second round opponent?
Liam Brody.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna beat Brody in his sleep. I mean, I might even.
I think there's actually I
might even lay the games against Brody. Because what are
I do. It's just like just looking at the futures, like minus 225 is so bad in terms of value.
it's bad. But the matchups are so good, and then like
I know. Like
Bautista,
what should Medvedev be against Agut? Like minus 500 or something, right? At least. Maybe more, maybe minus 600.
yeah, because how is Agut gonna make any progression on any point? He doesn't have weapons to hit.
He's not. The only thing you're worried about here is Medvedev played
over from Rotterdam.
Yeah, because he played a whole week of tennis, but it wasn't that much. It was only 4 matches, right? Like he didn't have to play the first round.
But we'll see that against Brody. You know, like, is he really willing to be there and play at 250, right? Like, if he beats Brody 2-2 and try to like,
yeah, but if you want minus 225, you have to lay that now before that Brody match.
see, the way I would play it is just parlay with Murray and just get an odds boost, because then you basically boost that to like plus 300.
Yeah.
You know,
I think there's value there. I think so.
It's just such a joke quarter. It's so bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna do exactly what you said.
Yeah. Because like I don't see any way he loses that. You know, like
no, I mean the only fear, I might sit on it for a day. My only honest fear is that Medvedev pulls out late for some unknown reason. Like he just doesn't want to play and decides like tomorrow, like screw it.
But if you hit that now, you get a push. And then you're basically
if he doesn't play, do you get a push on a futures bet if he doesn't play?
I think you do. If he doesn't not if he plays the first match and then pulls out.
No. I'm saying if he doesn't play at all, if he just withdraws on Wednesday.
Did you get a push for Kyrgios when he
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You have to double check that, because
you have to double check that, because that's the only question. The only question is, will he show up? Not will he show up in terms of his tennis game? Like, will Medvedev's physical body be in Doha when they're playing?
I think that also depends on the book. So you should check that, because you
gotta check the book.
You placed the Kyrgios future at the beginning of the Australian, right?
Yeah, so I'll have to check that. I'll have to check the rules.
Yeah. I think he'll play. I think he wants to kind of build on that form that he built, I think. But I mean, who knows? Last quarter, Davidovich Fokina. Yeah, he should. I mean, he's probably going to play Kwon.
Ooh, this is actually a good match, though. This Shelby kid just won. I think he just made the finals or won a challenger. He's from Jordan, so he's like, this is like he won there was a Bahrain challenger last week. I think he made the finals. I think he lost to Kokonakis in the finals. But this Shelby kid, he's a 19-year-old kid from Jordan. He beat Kubler, granted third set tiebreak, but he beat Kubler in a recent challenger. And he made a final. And a decent run there in Tenerife. I mean, I guess it was a qualifying run, but that's kind of decent looking.
That is
for a guy who's going to be at home versus Kwon, who's coming in from Asia.
No, he's coming from Rotterdam.
Oh, did he play Rotterdam? My bad, I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost there. I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm actually taking Shelby here in this first round. I'm going to take Shelby plus the 4 games.
I'm a little bit higher on Kwon.
Well, he's Korean, so you have to be.
Yeah. Otherwise, I won't be.
You won't be accepted.
Welcome me. Yeah, I won't be accepted by my family.
Yeah. So you have to take Kwon here -5.
No, not -5. Let's pump the brakes, okay? I might be Korean, but I'm only half Korean. Okay, so I'm still
so
going to be
-4.5.
Yeah, exactly. I might play Kwon 2 sets to love here at -125. Like, I could see a close set, but Kwon is just a more established ATP player, so I think winning a set would be challenging for Shelby. As we saw, like against Kokkinakis, who is probably worse than Kwon, like it was 1-4, so it showed that he competed, but he didn't he wasn't good enough to get past the hump. So I would prefer playing the set spread than the game spread here. That's kind of where I'm looking.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't know.
Yeah, 4 is not that much because if you it's one. Say Kwon starts the set serving, wins the first set 6-3, then
that's the scary thing, right? It's like the serve order is if Kwon serves first, it's a little scary.
Scary. I don't know. Yeah. All right, and then Kubler and FAA. I mean,
okay, so he actually plays for the Gators. I didn't realize he's a college player.
Oh, really? Huh.
And he went 11-5 in 21 and 22 each. Not ideal.
No.
I don't know. I still might take him +4 games.
He is in a good run of form.
Yeah.
Like that's a decent run at a Challenger 125. Like that's. And
you're talking about he's gonna have to play his way. Like
this is a fantastic win to beat Kubler.
That's a fantastic win. That's a top 100 win.
Yeah, it's a really good win.
I'm still okay with it. Plus the 4 games. Because the other thing is Kwon, the first set, maybe Kwon doesn't play well. Maybe Kwon comes out the gate slow, just it's a different tournament. He's playing his way into the tournament.
You got to be careful with these because we were all over the guy that was playing Molchan today. What's his name? That 16-year-old
Fonseca, I think, or
Fonseca.
Yeah, I know.
So we were all.
But I think that was different.
But
Fonseca did not have a top 100 win. Right, he beat Kubler. Yes. He beat Kopriva here. Kopriva's a legitimate player on the Challenger Tour.
He may have been. I didn't see this match. He may have been redlining, and you look at all the guys that he's playing before that. He's playing futures. He's so the ball quality that he's going to see from Kwon is just different than all these guys,
except maybe Kubler.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe. Yeah, that win, but I don't know. It's you have to be careful. I was all over the +6.5. I'm he's not playing that well, but when it's just so different.
I think that was different though. And I think that was a dumb bet for us to try to chase Fonseca there.
To be fair, a lot of guys on Twitter were chasing Fonseca there. It wasn't
more fun, right? I think it's part of the problem too. Is you want to chase Fonseca, right? It's always fun to back the young kid, at home, the crowd. There's a whole bunch of things.
Okay.
I think I'm still okay with the +4. It's enough, I think. I don't know. Kwon can go Kwon can go awry sometimes too.
Yeah, but he's steady mentally.
But he's not very smart, right? Wasn't there the match against Rublev where he was trying to out-hit Rublev off the ground?
Yeah, he played a dumb match against Zizou Bergs at Davis Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is probably a stay away at this point. Honestly, I think
probably is.
I probably should just stay away.
4.5.
Honestly, and you're playing a kid who was 6 singles for his college team, really should.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. Yeah. I like the 2 sets to love, to be honest. I think that's pretty good because I think Shelby could be competitive in a set, for example, but I think getting the comp and winning a set is a different ball game.
Yeah.
So that's where I kind of go there. And then Kubler FAA. Oof. 4.5.
What is the Brody Medevedev line there? Can you go back quickly for like 2 seconds?
6. I think I saw
I'm
6.
actually more curious about the money line.
Mine is 1,600.
See, that tells me you gotta hit Medvedev on that minus 225. Because, like, what? You don't think that he's like, if he's 90% likely to win again, you don't think he's like 75% likely to beat Batista Agut or like 80% likely to beat Batista Agut in the quarters? Like, he's gotta be. He's gotta be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Minus 225 is actually decent.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit it with Murray as a parlay.
Okay. And then this last quarter, do you like FAA's chances?
Yeah, that actually is my best play here in terms of like this is only minus 110. At least when I hit it was minus 110 for FA to win the quarter. And you're talking about him being Kubler. And then probably
Fokina.
Fokina's not playing well either. And this was minus 110 when I saw it last. It's now moved to 140. I got it at 110.
I still like it at 140.
Yeah. Like, look at those other 4 guys. Like, why do we think that Fokina, Kwan, Kubler, or Shelby can beat him?
Yeah, I mean, they're not. Kubler just lost to the guy we just talked about.
Right.
And then Fokina is he's talented, but he's erratic. Yeah. I mean, I might hit those 3 guys as a parlay, to be honest.
Yeah.
I might add FAA to it.
Yeah.
You know, like, so. I mean, Murray is an unseeded player, so do you think there's any way he could get to the final? Unseeded finalist?
Yeah.
I don't like plus 105, though.
Plus 105 is not good enough for me. Like, but I don't like the no here either because you look at the top half, like,
I know.
if you look at it like
if Rublev loses,
right? Like, who
is Lechka seeded?
No,
he's not.
But do you like Lechka to like? I don't know, man.
I like Lechka to win that quarter at that price.
But do you like him to make the final at plus 105? And what other unseeded players there are a threat? I guess Griekspoor is a threat. House is a threat, theoretically.
Yeah, but that's really it. It's only top half guys. So you're basically banking on the top half guy to have the unseeded finalists.
And like, why doesn't Rublev just hammer all these guys? Like, that's what should happen. Rublev last year, he beat up I think he beat guys outside the top 50 pretty well. Like,
yeah, but Rublev hasn't been good this year. Besides the quarterfinal run, like that's it. Like other than that, he's been poor.
Yeah, okay. So he lost to Agut. Agut's a top 20 guy or a top 30 guy. He's probably not top 20, probably top 30.
Easily.
What?
Lost to Demonor in Rotterdam.
Another top 30 guy.
Yeah, not a bad loss, but easily he lost. Like there was not much resistance.
I don't know, but he's not losing to anybody who's like outside. Like, I mean, do you think it's like?
I'm saying I like Lechka there. I know he hasn't played much, but he seems like a guy that's trying to make that next step forward. And
I just have no interest in playing a guy who's coming off of nothing.
Okay.
Since Australian, right?
Fair.
Like,
fair point. I just have no interest in playing Rublev either. And
which is why I'm staying away from that particular bet. I stared at it. I just think like it's really tough. Like this top half is so weak.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't really trust Murray to make a run to the final because like that's a lot of tennis for a dude on a metal hit. Like he's gonna have to play 3 days in a row to make a final probably at some point. So I don't love that. Maybe not. Maybe he'll only be back-to-back days, but that still is not that easy. Nobody else in that quarter is appetizing. The top quarter's got a lot of appetizing dudes. I mean, maybe, I don't know. But then again,
the
like
price is not good enough.
was 24-4 in the past. What?
Plus 105, so it's not a good enough price to bet that on seeded.
This is interesting though. So last 52 weeks, Rublev was only 14-9 versus guys ranked between 20 and 50.
Yeah. I mean, I do tend to fade him first match of the week. Like,
which tells me maybe Lechka has a shot.
Because like Lechka plays, who does he play the first round again? Oh, Zoomer. So, yeah. I mean, you could see how he plays that first match because I don't think that line necessarily goes down that much.
It shouldn't.
Zoomer doesn't.
Zoomer's not the threat, right? The threat is Rublev.
Exactly. So maybe see how he plays that first match, see how he turns up.
Yeah, I think it's probably a good play. You can wait and see
maybe
there.
Then reevaluate whether or not you want to play Lechka. Yeah. That's maybe how I attack that, but I like Murray plus 225. I love Medvedev minus 225, and I like Felix here. I mean, I
like Felix too.
So I'm gonna parlay those three. I like that. So, all right, let's move on to the next tournament. Was it Marseille? Marseille. Yeah. So we got Hurkacz as the number 1 seed. Rinderknecht and Righty. You have a lean here in this first round?
Righty was hurt, remember, at the Australian? I don't think he's played since then, but he had a pretty good run up until then. Remember, he got hurt in the qualifying.
And he hasn't played?
I don't think he's played since then.
Yeah, good point.
And Rinderknecht hasn't been great.
He has not been good. So it basically says stay away. He has not been good at all.
Yeah.
Ooh, yuck. The only win is to Luca Nardi, 4-4.
On hard.
Yeah.
On fast hard in Montpellier.
It's not good.
I mean, the only thing that gives me confidence here is that it's in Montpellier, so it's in France, but I still am staying away.
Yeah. And then Ymer and Albot. Wow, so Albot is making a trip from Delray Beach all the way here.
Yeah.
So what's the line?
This I'm actually really curious to see. And I was waiting to see when this match was going to be played.
It looks like it's going to be played on Wednesday.
Yeah, they gave me extra day.
So Ymer minus 4.5. It's probably the accurate line. I mean, it's.
Would you play Albot here? Ymer's not that good. Does Ymer really deserve a 4.5 favorite?
So who does Ymer like to play? Does he like playing guys that kind of are more aggressive and can bait them into errors? Or
I would think, right?
Does he prefer playing guys that will counterpunch? Like Albot? I don't know.
I would think he'd rather play guys who attack him and let him do the counterpunching.
So you think he would get frustrated with Albot's game? Because I feel like both of these guys have similar games, but Ymer does it at a higher level.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm going to stay away here. I'm also worried about Albot going from a slower hard court now to a fast indoor court.
Yeah, I agree with that. Plus,
but 4.5 games is a lot. Albot did make a semi. But, who did he beat?
Jet lag.
Ymer's compete level. There's so many things on both sides of it. So, I have no freaking idea, man.
Yeah, there's so many variables here.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Klein against Goffin.
I haven't seen the line here yet. I'm kind of curious. It's Goffin minus 3.5. That feels like Goffin, right?
It does. Lucas Klein, 142 in the world. Beat Chidek and Piros. Greek Spore, 3-set match. That's decent. In Holland.
Yeah.
That tells me that he's playing decent tennis.
Yeah. How old is this kid? No, Lucas Klein's a veteran, isn't he?
98.
Yeah, no, 25.
Yeah.
He's been around for a while.
He's near his career high rank. He's doing decently in challengers, though. Like, he's making.
Yeah, but that's all from like beginning of
That's all
last year,
from
right? If you look at like stuff this year, he lost to Norrie, lost to Pullman's, lost to Gulbis, lost to Greek Spore.
Yeah, that's not
He
good.
beat Chidek and he beat Zomber Piros. And those are both his but he did qualify here.
So his last 3 matches were good matches.
Yeah.
If we put it into context. Like this I view as a win almost.
But this can never be Klein, can it?
Yeah, 3.5 is not that much. Yeah, but Goffin, I mean, has he been that good? I know he lost to Quan at Davis Cup. I mean,
He beat Shang Hong at Davis Cup.
the 6 love set to Barrera. I mean, Barrera has played decent tennis recently, actually. I'm probably staying away here. It's just tough. I've never really seen Klein play, so I can go off results, but I can't really go off an eye test, which is tough for me.
Yeah.
No. So I don't know.
This feels like a stay away.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay away here. I actually think Goffin is the pick, but I'm a little like, I tend to like guys who qualified in the first round of tournaments. They don't have to play their way in, like to the flow of the tournament. They're already in flow.
I know. If it was 4.5, I'd play Klein there plus 4.5. But
how bad is this quarter, by the way?
It's a terrible quarter. It's horrible. What's her catch odds to win the quarter?
It's like even money.
Are you serious?
Well, who else is going to win the quarter?
Plus 105.
I actually might bet her Hubie there. Like, just because, like, which of these guys is a better than 1 out of 4 chance against him?
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna hit it. It's like a hold your nose, but like right, look at those 7 names and tell me which guy you want to bet. The problem is like, actually, I'm not going to because like Reedy was really good on the challengers before he got hurt. Like if he's good,
yeah, but I don't think he can. Like he might win 1 match, but can he really win 3 matches?
Can he beat Hurkacz? Probably not.
And then if he beats Hurkacz, he has to win another match. He has to win 3 matches to make a
Oh
quarter.
no, I'm not saying I would ever hit that. I'm saying like he's a threat. And is he enough of a threat to make me not take Hurkacz at plus 105? But I don't think so. Such a bad quarter. Like
Hurkacz is the only play.
And it probably is Hurkacz. It's just such a hold your nose.
Yeah.
But has Hurkacz played since the Australian?
Yeah, he played last week. Played
did he? Oh, he did. He played. That's you're right. Yeah, he did. You know what? I'll play Hubie. To win the quarter, not to win the tournament, to win the quarter. It's such a bad quarter. Like, there's nobody else you can pick.
Yeah,
on a fast indoor hard,
it's a
should play to
quarter.
him.
Yeah. And then going to the next quarter, you got the Mitrov against the winner of Emer and Brower.
Ooh, what is that? That's an interesting match. It's the bad Emer. Bad Emer. That's
Emer.
this morning. Bad Emer is getting 2.5 games from G's Brower.
Yeah, but Brower had that deep run again in Rotterdam, right? But then I mean, credit to Brower, he came and qualified, right? He won 2 matches.
He did come qualify, yeah.
So, did Brower win 2 matches?
He did.
Qualify?
He beat Sasha Gaymard Weinberg, and he beat Raul Brancaccio.
So that means that shows me that he's acclimated with the conditions. Like, I'd actually be more worried about playing that if Brower qualified directly.
Yeah.
You know? So I probably play minus 2.5. Is that how you're leaning?
Thinking. I think so. Like, if I look at Eli Emer, like, he's got his best win this year is Schumer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Brower did have a good week. Beat Husler 3-5, Rune 4 yeah.
And that's at home, but he's got to win over Pospisil. Like, again, like, we're talking, like, this is a level where, like, these are, like, he's got, like, Verton is a tough player, and he's got a tough loss there. Like, I don't know, man. He looks like a real player.
Yeah, and then Fields 3 sets.
Yeah.
Who's been playing well. Yeah.
I'm not saying I feel good about it, but I think I feel good enough to.
But it's also the conditions, right? It's a fast indoor hard court, right? Where I think Emer prefers clay, right?
Should play to Brower. Court. We like Brower here. Yeah.
I like Brower here.
We're gonna hit the Brewer.
Okay.
The Brewer money might not be a bad play either, but it's at minus 180.
No, I prefer laying the games.
Yeah,
because Brower could break here, right? Emer doesn't have a big serve, so
yeah.
Bublik against the winner Barrere Husler. Barrere Husler is an interesting match. Barrere has been good this year. I mean, it's probably
this is also a really good spot for Barrere. Like, this is like where Barrere wants to be. He wants to be on French indoor hard courts. They're fast. It plays to his game. He's in his home country. Like, this is like what Barrere does. He basically hangs out in France and plays all the French challengers. Like, he's a French dude. He stays at home.
So do you like minus 2.5 here for him?
No, I actually like the over here. I think the over 23 here is a good play. Like, because Barrere, like, he doesn't really have a good game to break, and honestly, neither does Husler.
Yeah.
It's a fast indoor hard. I think this is a close enough match. It could go 3, so you could get bailed out. And I also think you could get like 2 tight sets here.
True.
But 23 is like, usually I'm scared to take an over 23, but I think here's the exception where I'm willing to do it.
What's the over on the first half line? Oh, where are these? What happened?
The first half?
Yeah, over 9.5 minus 150.
That's basically over 10.
Can you get, where's the over 10?
You can't. They usually Boba doesn't give you that. You could take Barrere over 12.5 here too if you like, or take Husler over 12.5.
Yeah.
Better.
I'd probably go there. Barrere 12.5 minus 135. Yeah. I like that better. 2.5, because if it's 6-6, you lose that, and I could easily see that. And then 23 is good, but it's high.
I mean, the neutral is 22, right?
I guess.
So it's slightly high, but it's not crazy. And you can see why, right? Like, I understand why you put it at 23. I just think, like, maybe that should be more like 24.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. But I think Barrera wins it, right? I think he's slightly better form
I
right
don't know.
now.
I think Hughes the better player. Maybe not in this spot, but I think if they're playing on some random, if you blindfold them and like truck them out to some random court location and make them play tennis, I think that Hughes was the better player.
Yeah, it's probably true. Yeah. Interesting match, though. Interesting match. It's definitely
Very
more
interesting
exciting
match.
than
And both those guys are
Rotterdam.
live players in this draw.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
because
I mean, honestly, this quarter is pretty nuts. Like, any of these guys could get through to the semis. That's a good quarter for a 250. Like, it's amazing how bad the first because if you gave me, there's like at least 5 or 6 guys. There's 5, maybe 6 guys in this quarter who I would want to bet on. Maybe not 5, maybe like 4. Like, I would want to bet on Barrera, Huesler, Dimitrov, and maybe Brouwer if you gave me the right odds. Whereas, like, there's nobody in the top quarter I wanted to bet on.
yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
Which leads me to my futures play here. So my futures play in this tournament is the winner of that quarter at plus 300 to win the tournament.
Ooh.
Look how bad the top quarter is.
That's this little quarter here. So Huesler and Dimitrov are the top seeds there.
Yep. But okay, but tell me you don't like them against the top quarter?
Well, Dimitrov just beat Hurkacz at Rotterdam. So they're playing, and it was 6-6. So that's like a pick 'em match if they play. Right?
Yeah.
And then I mean, I don't really like, like Barrera is good, but I don't trust him to win a tournament. Bublik is a clown.
But who do you trust to win this tournament?
I mean, so if we review the bottom half here. So you think Sinner has a hangover from his
I think Sinner might not play. Like, why, if you're Sinner, do you play this? Like, didn't you prove enough? I mean, I know you only won 3 matches at the 250, but you won the event. And then you came back and you just played 5 matches at Rotterdam.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
like, what's the point?
Yeah, I just don't think you can bank on that. Like when you're betting a futures, you got to look at the people who are in the draw. Don't like expect someone to pull out.
But you think Sinner's going to pull this off? Like,
I mean, he eats these guys that are out of the top 40 for breakfast. Like he's gonna it doesn't matter how tired he is. He's gonna beat Fields or Safalunin. He's gonna probably beat Wawrinka. He just beat him like 2-1, or what was it? Easily in Rotterdam.
I think that third quarter actually could be tough, right?
I mean, my future of this tournament is de Minaur to win the tournament.
What's the odds there?
I think I got plus 700.
I like that. The only problem is, how does he match up with Cressy?
Didn't he beat him didn't he beat him recently? Yeah, he just beat him in Rotterdam in the round of 16.
It's a slower court and
Cressy's
a long run.
Yeah, but that was also, I mean, Cressy must be tired too.
Well, no, because he went out in the round of 16 in Rotterdam, right? So he's gotten basically a week off. And that was his only tournament since the Australian. Wait, are they missing something here? Didn't Cressy? No, you're looking at Team my bad. Cressy, I don't know.
So my one futures play of this week is De Minaur to win Marseille, Alcaraz to win Rio, and Lechka to win the first quarter. And I think it was something ridiculous. It was 53
54 to 1.
54.
That looks pretty good.
So
especially the only thing that looks really that scary there is none of those actually all those look very possible.
They're very possible, yeah. I like De Minaur here. I think he's hungry. I think he's probably the hungriest player in the draw. He looked good last week. I mean, it was an easily beat the draw. I mean, that was like could have gone either way. I like his draw.
Cressy scares me.
Cressy scares me. Yeah, that's true.
Because again, like on fast hard, like this is another really good spot for Cressy.
Yeah, it is. So would you play Cressy to win the tournament or like make a final?
The thing is like with Cressy's style, I hate playing him because there's so many close matches and close sets.
Yeah.
But maybe.
All right, we didn't go over the bottom half of this draw.
We didn't.
So, all right, so you got
so Cressy and Blankenau. This should go to Cressy easily. I've got two sides. I'm playing the straight sets line here. I think at minus 150. Cressy 2 sets to none. There's no reason Blankenau should.
To me, Cressy is a huge favorite. I play overs on almost every Cressy match. Just close your eyes and play the over.
Yeah, it's 22.5 here, but I don't.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's like if he wins, it's going to be 5 and 6.
Yeah.
You know.
All right.
That's how I play every Cressy match.
I hit it.
Bonzi beat Van Ash. I actually picked Van Ash today. That was one of my upset picks of the week. It was 5.
I had Bonzi over 12.5, so I hit this. And it was a pretty easy hit.
That's a good hit.
Yeah, pretty stress free. I parlayed Bonsai and Bublik. One of the more, Bonsai over 12.5 and Bublik, Virginia to go over. One of the more stress-free parlays I've hit in a long time. Like
nice.
Well, like Bonsai, once he won the first hit 7-5, I was like, all right, I'm clean, right? Like I'm good there. Yeah. And honestly, I felt pretty good once Bublik lost the first set 7-5 because I guess I didn't feel that good because I knew I need Bublik to get to 5, but like Bublik was the better player. I mean, I thought Bublik could get to 5 against Krajinovic in the second set. So I felt pretty good there. That was a pretty nice. And
Bonzi usually, if he wins, he doesn't blow anyone out. It's always like a
Bonsai. Yeah. Oh yeah. Bonsai. Bonsai is like one of my favorite over 12.5 guys. Yeah. So is Bublik. They're like, I love hitting those guys over 12.5. Like,
yeah. Richard against Andujar. Andujar is just like old and fat now.
I don't know. I actually hadn't looked at this line. I think I like Richard here, but I bet you're not going to get a good
minus 4.5. You're not getting anything good here.
Yeah. But Andujar might be so bad that might still be a good line.
It might be, and it's not on clay.
And this is a fast hardcore. This is not why is Andujar here? Like, why if you're Andujar, I guess like he just doesn't want to travel anymore. Like, that's a really bad look for Andujar. Right? Because like if you're really thinking about tennis, you should be in Rio, right?
Yeah, he played Cordoba, and then I don't think he qualified for Buenos Aires, right?
Yeah, but he can't get in. You know what? You're right. This might have been about where he could get into.
Yeah, probably.
Because he's ranked 153. He's been healthy, so I don't think he has protected rankings that he can use.
No.
So this is probably about where he could get in.
Wow, look at these last 5 losses, though. Jesus.
So bad. I think you've got to hit Richard here and lay the 4.5, man.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to look at Richard and see anything that scares me here. I mean, Richard had been really bad, though, too, man. This might be a clean stay away.
187.
It could be Bellier. I don't know. Like, is Andujar so bad now we're just going to hit anybody against Andujar?
I mean, those losses don't look good. And then at least Richard qualified, right? So he's acclimated with it.
1-2 to Adam Walton, who's 434 in the world. 1-3 to Aslan Karatsev on a hard court.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I think you gotta hit that kid, the Richard here.
Richard here, yeah.
So the other thing I ask yourself is really like, why is Andujar here? Why is he playing on a fast indoor hard? Yeah, I guess the only other question I'm going to ask is like, what's the better play, Richard in straight sets? That's at -135. Maybe you hit that instead.
I probably hit that because I don't like 4.5 is.
And it's fast indoor hard, right?
Yeah.
So like likely to be more games. But look at that first set line. Over 9.5 is +110.
I don't like that because if you look at Andujar's results, like he's losing sets easily.
Oh, I know. My point is like, if that's the rule, then you just go Richard minus the 4.5, and because you're getting a few more cents in your dollar.
Because I could easily, like, I could see 6-1, and then like Andujar competes a little bit, and Richard kind of has a lull, and it's like 6-1, 6-4. Like I could see that. Yeah, I probably lay the games. But yeah,
Andujar's been so bad. He beat Reedy in Rowan Challenge. So in the last 52 weeks, here are his wins. He did beat Sonego on clay. He beat Sonego on clay. He beat some dude Vitaly Sachko in 3 sets on hard court. He beat Montero in Tel Aviv. And he beat Reedy. In all his other matches, he lost. In every other match, he's lost and not gotten to 5 games in a set.
It's really bad. I mean, I saw him playing Cordoba. Like, he played a set and he just gave in physically. Like, it wasn't really an injury. It was just like he couldn't handle it physically. Like,
then the play is the game.
He looks like kind of chubby. Like, he looks fat.
He did. I actually saw that. He does look fat. He does look fat.
Like, for an ATP player, it's not like, you know, it's bad. So
well, he's older than me. I mean, he's 37.
Yeah, but if you're playing on the tour, don't look fat.
I agree. I mean, I don't look fat, and I'm 35.
You're not playing on the ATP tour.
That's my point. Like, I don't even get to play on the ATP tour to help me stay in shape, and I still don't look fat. So, like, what is this dude doing looking fat? Like,
that's fair. Well, it's just all the more reason to bet against him.
I think we're betting against him. Yeah, okay. We're going to hit Richard here, and we're going to lay the 4.5.
And then the third quarter here. So okay, de Minaur just has to beat one of those two guys, and then Bonzi or Cressy, right? And Bonzi really hasn't been that good, and Cressy's the only guy that we're worried about. So is there anything holding us back from this +140 here for de Minaur?
I think it's the right line. Well, let me think about this for a second. So
he'll probably be like a -8 or 9, maybe plus a -1,000 to beat either Richard or Andujar. Probably way more if it's Andujar. And then what's the line for the de Minaur Cressy quarterfinal?
That might be close to a pick'em, though. I mean, what do you think? Is that a pick'em to you? Or
I think de Minaur is a slight favorite. I think he would be like -145 maybe, and Cressy plus a.
Oh, that's way too much.
You really give Cressy that much credit? Like that much?
It's a fast hardcore. Like this is like Rotterdam was not a Cressy spot. This is a Cressy spot. He's also he lost in the second round, so now he's got a week off, so he shouldn't be tired. Like this is a Cressy spot. I think it's closer to a pick'em.
Okay, so you like Cressy to win that quarter then?
Because, no, he's got to play Bonsai. Like Bonsai's a real opponent. He could lose that match to Bonsai.
But Bonsai is not a good returner.
But I can easily see there's going to be at least one tiebreak there.
Okay.
But maybe I do. I mean, you might have talked me into it. Like, do I really think Bonsai can beat Cressy? No.
I don't think so. And
So
also,
I think
Bonsai
Cressy's
has
the
not
play
been
at
on good form.
225. But I got to think about that more. That's tough. I'm probably going to stay away.
Yeah.
What about Andujar hanging out there at 28-1?
No.
I know, man. I know.
Yeah.
They never give you good odds on those crappy guys. Like,
yeah. I'd place 28-1 on him to eat some gummy bears after he loses. But not to win that quarter.
yeah. Over under number of gummy bears consumed 0.5.
I'll hit the over there. Well, he looks pretty good in this picture, but that's probably from like 4 years ago.
It's got to be from like at least 4 years ago.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the bottom quarter. Gasquet against Locally. Laurent Locally.
I feel like I've seen his name more lately, though.
Yeah, because he's all over the Challenger Tour. He plays like every week.
Yeah, he does. He does.
So
the line is Gasquet minus 4.5.
It's high for Gasquet without a
But has Locally done anything to convince us that he's gonna win? No.
No.
I think this is a pure stay away. Gasquet got whooped by Wawrinka.
Yeah, but that's Wawrinka. You know, Wawrinka's way better than Laurent Locally. I'm not comparing those two guys.
No, I'm saying it's enough to make me stay away.
Under 21.5.
That's interesting. But this could get to 3. This could, like, Gasquet's a pro.
But Gasquet, does he blow anyone out?
I
don't think so. Like when he wins, it's always like
it is. He doesn't have
like
you're
adventure.
Right. You're right. It's always an adventure at this point in his career.
Never wins easily. Like because he doesn't he's a solid player, he's a professional, but he doesn't have many weapons, right? So he has to work those points and he has to like work for his wins. Like this is the only one, but I'm not gonna like
I think I'm staying away.
6-2 against Souza, right? Like Souza lose 6-2 in love to Delian today. Like
and Souza's not a hardcourt player. Souza's a clay court player.
Right. And then like Goffin, it was the weird 3-set match, but it's 3 sets nonetheless.
But has Locally done anything to convince you he's an ATP tour level player?
No, he's a challenger guy. He hasn't really proven that he's at that next, taking that next step.
He lost to Hugo 1-3 last year.
Ugo?
Yeah, Hugo Humbert.
Oh yeah, and Ugo beat Gasquet in straight sets at the Australian this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a stay away for me because I don't trust Gasquet to blow anyone out, right? So the under was enticing, but Gasquet is gonna win this match, but I don't think it could I could easily see 3 and 5 here, and then you don't even hit the 4.5.
Well, you do if it's 3 and 5. That's 5, but 3 and 6.
You hit it if you lay the games, but I wouldn't want to lay the games here. Either.
Right.
So, yeah, okay, it's a stay away, but Gasquet gets through. And then would play Wawrinka.
Actually, what is the money line here? 380, I don't think.
Yeah. Wawrinka rematch of last week, but a faster surface, right? So, I get. I mean, Wawrinka's actually playing pretty well again.
Yeah, I don't know. I got no interest here.
Fields and Safiullin.
I mean, I think Fields gonna be a big favorite here, right? I'm pretty sure
hoping
a
so.
2-game favorite.
It's not that bad. Not that big of a favorite.
You got to hit Fields, right?
Absolutely. That might be my play of the day on Wednesday.
I'm going to lay the game and a half. Why not? I might even lay 2 games.
That's a no-brainer. In France?
Yeah.
In France?
Against Safulin, who I don't know that a fast hardcourt plays to Safulin's strengths.
Not really. And Fields just played really well in Montpellier. That's a no-brainer to me. Like, you got
Fields and straights is sitting out there at plus 160. Fields -2 is minus 105.
I wish they had more. Like, I wish they had 3 or 3.5.
I know. Well, then the question is, you like the Fields straight set line at plus 160?
Not good enough.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I'm just going to lay the game and a half here.
Yeah. If it was plus 200, I'd hit it, but 165 is just not quite good enough.
I hear you.
So, yeah, but Fields, definitely. Definitely. And then Sinner, I mean, we'll see with Sinner. I mean, it's so hard to tell. Like, I can't tell if he's going to play. And so maybe just playing a futures to win this tournament is not the best. But although I like DeMinor in terms of the value at plus 700. And then just like
my biggest question is, does this court play to DeMinor's strength without having a great serve on a fast hard? I'd rather have somebody with a bigger serve.
Fair. I mean, the bottom half is way stronger than the top half.
Oh yeah.
So,
but that's kind of why I like the the second quarter is because like that first quarter is so weak.
Besides Hubie
hasn't been good at all this year, right? I mean,
yeah, I would never bet him in the futures. Like, is he the odds-on favorite to win the tournament?
No, Sinner is.
Oh, Sinner, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's...
Hurricanes also no tiebreaks are coming, which still is, but he's a good tiebreak player.
Who?
Hurricanes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough tournament to pick. It really is. All right, let's move on to
Rio.
Yeah, Rio de Janeiro. It's a fun tournament.
This is a fun tournament. It's hilarious how this draw looks exactly like Buenos Aires did.
Yeah, it's very similar.
With the exception if they replace the wild cards.
Yeah, you just basically switch you don't even switch the player, you just switch the flag.
Yeah.
From Argentine to Brazilian. They're all the same kind of player. Right?
Actually, not really. Like, Brazil actually used their wild cards a lot more. Like, Argentina has a decent pipeline, so they use their they basically use them on the guys like the bonus and other like top level challenger guys. Like,
yeah,
Brazil picked like 2 young kids and then Bellucci.
Yeah, he played I mean, he was pretty good back in like the early 2000s, right? Or 2010s.
2010s. It was the Obama administration, not the
the early
not
2010s.
the Bush administration.
That's what I mean. But yeah. I mean, I was kind of surprised to see his name. Was that Mattia Bellucci or Tomas Bellucci? Like,
yeah, I know. I was asking the same question at first.
Yeah. All right.
So starting at the top, we got Alcaraz versus Alves. I mean, this is obviously Alcaraz one-way traffic.
Do you take the -7 or 7.5?
I'm just staying away from that. Like, Alcaraz got to play his way into this tournament, right? Like, who knows, man? Like, it's in my mind, it's too much.
So is this Alves guy similar to like the guy that played in Molchan today?
He's 22, not 17.
Has he seen
He's a little more
level
mature.
balls?
He's got a little more Challenger Tour experience, at least.
No, that's not the guy. You
It's
know,
Mateus Alves, not Thiago.
Mateus.
Oh, he's never played a top 100 guy. Oof. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stay away from this for sure. 7's just so much, man. Like
it's Alcaraz though. Alcaraz had 5 against Norrie. Like I've used to be so reluctant to lay the games when the but this is clay first of all. Like if it was hard, total stay away. The fact that it's clay, it's going to be so hard for this guy Alves to win points. How the hell is he going to win points?
You know what? You convinced me. I'll lay 7. Actually, you know what I'd rather do? I'd rather go batshit crazy and see if I can lay like 8.5 or something insane. Like they get plus money for it.
7.5 plus 110.
Bam. Done.
See, Alcaraz to win 2 sets to love is minus 1,200. That's ridiculous. That's just insane. Like, do they have any set to nil plus 265? I actually don't mind that.
I don't mind that either. I'm gonna hit both of those. Actually, that might be the play here, is just hit the any set to nil and screw hitting the game.
Right. Because when you hit a spread that big, you're basically thinking that there could be a 6 love set. Right.
Yeah.
Like how does Alves win points? Like even if Alves hits his best ball ever, the ball's coming back. It's Alcaraz. Gets to freaking everything. Like
no, I mean he's not going to win points, right? Well, Alcaraz would have to lose them.
Yes, right.
I like it. It's been hit.
But all right, I'm gonna hit it too. And then Bonini and Vera. I think you have to hit Vera here.
Yeah, this is one I already hit. I've hit a bunch of stuff on this tournament. I hit Vera here.
Minus 145. It's a no-brainer. I would lay the 2 games here.
So this line has moved. I actually got this at minus. This was a pick on when I hit it. I hit this at minus 110 on Sunday.
Wow. It's good. I mean, I think it's Vera all the way, right? Like, has Fonini won a match in this Golden Swing yet?
Well, no, he lost the one to Gira. This is the first one he played.
Yeah.
Also, Fonini's 0-3 on the year. The only set he won was that 7-6 set against Brooksby.
Right. Yeah, not good. Not good. Yeah, I think that's Vera all the way. I'm actually surprised that line is that close, to be honest.
Yeah.
So 100% there. Lajovic and Schwartzman is
this is incredible. I can't believe this line. It's not as crazy as you'd think, but Lajovic is only giving 2.5, and I hammered Lajovic here already.
You're that.
I mean, I'm gonna hammer like 2.5. That's it. Like Schwartzman lost by 6 to Cerundolo at home, and he lost by 9 to Zapata Morales at home.
Schwartzman can't hold serve. Period. Like
this should be 5. Actually, I wonder what it is now. I hit this on Sunday. It might be worse now. It may have moved.
2.5.
Still sitting at 2.5. Yeah, I mean,
it's Schwartzman. It's Lajovic all the way.
Yeah, I'm stunned that people still have so much respect for Schwartzman.
I mean, we're gonna take advantage of that. I don't want that to change.
Like, I get it. Like, Schwartzman was at one time a really good player, but so was Bellucci.
So if we're gonna do a parlay of the day segment, that's definitely on there.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
I agree. We're gonna add Vera too, right?
Yep.
All right. moving on. I'll close. Musetti and Jerry. Well, we went over that. That was pathetic.
I can't believe Garen choked like that. Garen Pedro first set was hilarious. Pedro won a first time in 12 matches. But this was ridiculous. So Garen was up 4-1 and had break point to go up 5-1. Then lost 4 games in a row. Pedro had set point at 5-4 serving. Garen broke him back. He got to a tie break. That would have been Garen had set point at 6-5 on Pedro's serve. Okay. Pedro held, and then Garen proceeded to get bageled in the tiebreak. It was the most ridiculous set ever. It was like pure joy to pain, to joy to pain, to just like just confusion. Not even pain, just confusion.
That's great.
To lose 10 straight, to have set point, lose 10 straight points.
I bet over 2.5 sets in that match. So I guess there wasn't too much pain for me. I mean, it was like, it would have been way more pain if that was the second set.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Gaston and Varias.
Pure stay away from me. Really? I'm concerned that Varias might be played out. Good point. From that run in, could be mental as much as physical too, right? That was a great run in Buenos Aires.
That was.
But Gaston stinks.
He does. I played Varias already because he's just a better player right now.
I get it. I'm worried about him.
I agree with that, but this is such a big opportunity for Varias to gain points. Like where else is he going to gain points on the calendar?
Nowhere else. He's done after this.
He needs these points. These are huge matches for these guys. Huge.
Yeah. But that didn't help Baez.
And this is a 500. This is not a 250. This is a 500.
I know.
So.
And it should be a Wednesday match. So they should give him a couple days to recover. I think it is.
It is.
I might hit this for Baez. Actually, is this lineup yet?
No, they're playing tomorrow.
Wow. That's rough. That's a quick turnaround. That's only 2.
And the line moved up from 2.5 to 3.5, I believe.
I'm going to stay away here.
Yeah, it's probably a smart play.
I'm just worried that Varias is played out.
I don't like the way this tournament does the schedule, where they only put 3 matches on each court, and then they put matches on four separate courts. Why? Start the day a little earlier and put more matches on each court.
It's Rio, man. Nothing happens in Rio during the day. There's probably nobody you have to have lines, you have to have staff. Nobody's awake at 11 a.m. in Rio to work the tournament.
It's true.
Actually, they don't start until 4:30. They start really late.
Yeah. But the way they have these there are 3 matches on
center court, and then it's spread out across 3 or 4 courts. I know. I saw that's how it was today too.
I want to see all these matches, but the thing is, when there's so many matches on, there's only a couple matches on each court. You can't watch these matches.
Yep.
All right. Next section, Bellucci and Baez. I mean, are you going to lay the games here? I don't know. Was it 6?
And so Bellucci, I don't know, man. The last time Bellucci won, Trump was president. And COVID was not yet a thing.
Okay.
But he does have the hotter girlfriend.
Okay.
It is in Rio, so he has crowd support. It's his last professional match. He's retiring after this.
Okay.
He's announced his retirement after this match, or after this tournament. So this is, he's not going to win this match.
I think the most important detail was the hot girlfriend.
That's crucial. Baez doesn't have a girlfriend, so he's definitely winning.
Baez is more focused on his tennis.
But this is like sex versus father time. It's one of the great matchups of all time. Hot girlfriend versus, a decrepit. Like, that's the thing. Like, honestly, looking at this match, like, Bellucci hasn't played in 4 months, but like, he announced his retirement a while back. Like, he's been like, I assume he's like been gearing up for this match, for this farewell match, to try to give whatever he's got in the tank. And like, there's nothing. Like, he's done after this match. There's no reason to not leave everything he's got on the court.
Good point.
He's not gonna win the match.
But 7 against like someone other than Medvedev on hard or Alcaraz on clay or Djokovic.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, can he cover 7? Like, 7's a lot. Like,
7's a lot.
Like, and like, does Bellucci keep the first set close? Like, I also kind of like the plus 3.5 in the first set. Like, can Bellucci keep the first set somewhat competitive just through like?
I actually think it might take him a little time to get some rhythm. The fact that he hasn't played in so long, so
yeah,
I'd cover the 7.
Just the games in total. Like,
I'd rather do the 7 for the match, and also Baez like could miss some. Like, he could he's not.
Well, it's a weird spot for Baez, right? Like,
he won Cordoba and then lost first round to Lyle.
My point is, like, it's an awkward spot. It's like the crowd's going to be going nuts for Bellucci every time. Like, right. Bellucci's had a decent career. He won 4 tournaments. He won Gstaad twice. Like, tennis fans know who Tomas Bellucci is.
Yeah. No, I know who he is.
Like, he's going to...
I'm going to hit the 7.
So I actually hit this at 6.5 to get plus money. And I think that's the right move here because, like, how does Vegas know this is going to be 7?
It's true.
Like, I just think they're throwing a number out there. So I would take something that's plus money. Like, this is a weird situation in which I would take Baez plus minus 7.5 before I would take Bellucci minus 7, just because I want plus money here on whatever I'm going to bet. Because, like, I could also see this being like the other Brazilian wildcard kid today, where like Bellucci might not have, like, I have no idea what Bellucci looks like. Nobody does. It's been 4 months since he played. So, like, he might be fat. Like, he might, like, we have no idea.
Yeah, but I'm actually a little bit more confident in Bellucci because, like, he knows what an ATP ball is, right? He's been there before, even though he hasn't done it in a while. Like, he knows what's coming.
Yeah.
Whereas
and like, this is it. Right, for him, this is it. And I'm sure he's retiring because he can't play anymore. Like, he's not going to get into the tournament, so it's not like he's going to make some comeback. So, like, this is it. So, and it's an awkward spot for Baez because the crowd's going to be cheering for every time Bellucci, like, takes a footstep, the crowd's going to be cheering for him. Like,
right. No, I like it. You convinced me.
Yeah.
I like it. And the fact that, Bellucci is a bigger underdog than Fonseca was today. I mean, yeah.
But, like, this kind of is a popcorn tennis match, ironically. Because I want to see what Bellucci looks like, man. I'm curious. Yeah. Plus, like, I don't know, like, Bellucci had a pretty good career. Like, he was a pretty good player at one point. I think he might have cracked the top 20.
He was. Yeah. All right, moving on. Ramos, Vinolas, and Echeverry. I mean, that's either stay away or just bet the over.
I think it's a bet the over. And I think that's what I did here.
Bet the over. Over's 22.5.
Yeah, that's what I did. I hit the over 22.5.
It's probably the play.
Like, I just think this is a super close match.
It is. I think Etch is slightly on better form, but I think Ramos is slightly the better player. Right?
I would agree with both those statements. I also think that these two guys are both, like, Ramos because he could choke, and Echeverry because he could just, like, go away for a set mentally. Like, honestly, this really feels like a 3-setter to me. But I kind of want the backing of, like, if it's 2 tight sets, still winning. I think they just call him Albert Ramos on time. Yeah.
Just Albert Ramos.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought they played last week, but I guess they didn't. Or in Cordoba, but I guess not. Yeah, it's close. I like the over there. Who do you think gets through it though?
I think it's a dead pick 'em, to be honest. Like, I almost don't hate the when I looked at it, this was a dead pick 'em when I first saw it. It was like minus 115, minus 105.
Still is.
But I think this is a dead pick 'em.
Yeah. Ramos slight favorite, 1-game favorite here. But yeah, it's close to a dead pick 'em. Kachin, Galan.
This is so bad, man. Kachin's not been good.
He has not.
And Galan is so bad.
He's bad. He's bad too. I
He
think
lost to Chardy, man. I'm never forgiving Galan for losing to Chardy.
2.5-game favorite. Oh, jeez. Yuck.
I want to see if I played anything here. I don't know if I did or not. I think I just stayed away.
It's a stay away. It's a stay away.
It's a stay away. You're right.
Because if I was just picking the match, I'd pick Kachin, obviously. But like, it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Kachin hasn't been good lately, but Galan, like, I don't know if Galan's even played recently.
He played in Cordoba, I believe.
Did he?
I think he lost
did,
to
then
like.
maybe.
Oh,
wow, you're
both.
right.
He
he played both, and he lost in the first round of both. Okay. I forgot about those losses to Vera and Carabelli, but that's not good. When's the last time Galan won a match? Has he won? Wow, he hasn't won yet this year. Nuno Borges' last back in October.
Yeah. It's not good. And then like look at these score lines. Like he plays a competitive first set and then goes away.
Which is so bad.
It's bad, yeah, exactly. So yep. All right, we're staying away there. Munar and Zapata. I mean, Munar, Jesus Christ.
This is one where I want to see the weather and what time this match is. Well, when is this match tomorrow specifically?
It is third on Quadra 4.
So is Bernabe a significant favorite? What's the line here?
I think I saw Bernabe at my only minus 1.5.
I think I like Bernabe minus the 1.5.
I like it too.
And the reason I waited to hit this is I wanted to see the conditions, because if this is in the day, I like Munar.
Well, what's the wind and because obviously it shows that Munar doesn't play well in wind, as we saw last week.
Yeah. I
Uh,
want to say there was wind, but I couldn't remember. And there's a chance
later
of
in the
rain
day,
tomorrow,
there's
too.
a chance of thunderstorms.
Again, like,
No wind.
when else would we be looking at this at like the weather in Rio de Janeiro?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the problem is it's a high chance of thunderstorms, and the match gets pushed to Wednesday.
Well, that's better for Bernabe because Bernabe then gets a couple days extra, the day extra of rest. That actually helps him.
Only if the match isn't on
in Buenos Aires.
But if the match gets on to conditions that are more favorable. But actually, the conditions are worse. Like, there's more wind Wednesday than Tuesday.
I like Zapata here. I like Bernabe. Munar has not been good.
No, he hasn't.
I know you were.
I'll back you on that.
I mean, I'm very down on Munar, especially after that 2-1 loss to Cerundolo. Like, that was embarrassing.
Yeah.
I actually didn't like what I saw from Pela. I thought like mentally he was stronger than that. Like, Pela just kept coming back. Like, Munar couldn't break away. You know,
Nope,
like
we're hitting it. That was a match I was specifically waiting to see when it was on. Given that it's on at night, I like Bernabe, and we're just gonna hope there's no thunderstorms.
okay. I'm hitting Bernabe there. You got Molchan and Deli.
Or I mean, it's Rio. They may play until like midnight if they have to get matches in. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I forgot Carballes, Baena, and Cerundolo. Oh.
This is another great one. And in fact,
Great.
What do you think about the over of 21.5 here?
I like it because I think it's quite similar to the Cerundolo. I think Carballes, Baena, and Zapata are pretty similar, right? And the fact that
In terms of skill
Cerundolo
level, I don't know about in terms of style.
in terms of skill level too. And then they went over last week in Buenos Aires, right? So you're just basically substituting Carballes, Baena with Zapata here. So I think it goes over.
Yeah, 21.5 is not a big line. I like the over here.
What's the 3-set line? Plus 140 now.
Ooh, that's kind of interesting. No,
I would need plus 150 or better to hit that. I prefer the over.
I'll have to think about this one, but I like one of the two. I just don't know which one yet.
All right, fair. Gun to your head, who wins that match though?
Cerundolo. I mean, if you're not sure, you should drill the money line. It's plus 160.
I'm thinking about it. That's where I was going.
Has Baena beat anybody this year? He did, right? He had a couple good wins.
Not really.
Ramos beat Ramos. I mean, he lost to Bernabe in 3. He beat Ramos, and he lost to Etch. In like I don't care about these hardcore matches with both Baena. And he beat Bernabe on hard. Again, I don't really care about that.
Did Cerundolo, I mean, I didn't see the last match against Bernabe. Did he look fully healthy?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that injury concern that he had in Cordoba is not really
I don't think so. I think this is a really close match.
And you
I
don't
kind of
think
like the over 3. This kind of has over 3 sets written all over it here.
I'm actually leaning Baena here in a way. I don't know. I'm not too high on Cerundolo. I feel like he kind of goes away mentally and then comes back in and goes away. Like there are a lot of dips with him.
So you like the RCB money line?
I'm leaning that way. I gotta look into it more, and I want to see what other guys are saying on Twitter. But
yeah,
it's such a close match that if you're getting plus 160 on one of them,
yeah,
you know what I mean. And then Cerundolo had a not such a deep run, but like a fairly deep run. There might be a slight hangover. I don't know. I gotta think about that one a little more. Molchan Delian, it's a second round match. Interesting because like Molchan really wasn't good. Like I don't look too much into the Fonseca match.
Oh, I don't either. Like Fonseca had no idea what he was doing out there. He looked like I mean, the first set I didn't watch the second set. I watched the first set. Fonseca, like you could tell he had not seen an ATP ball. He legitimately didn't know what to do, or he just wasn't quick enough. He just wasn't quick enough to like physically get around on like the ATP ball. Like
yeah. But I mean, Delian does know what he's doing, right, on a clay court. So
Delian looked good today too against Sousa.
Does that line up? It's basically a pick 'em. Delian has had the better form recently. Molchan had the better year last year.
I think I like Delian.
Money line?
Money line, yeah.
I have a day to think about it, so I'm gonna think about it a little more. I'm leaning towards where you're going. I didn't see much of the match today. Did he just like destroy Souza?
Delian was good. Delian was hitting like a lot of good balls, but Sousa was, I mean, Sousa's a defensive clay court player, so he's going to make Delian look a little better, but Delian was good.
So it's not that like Sousa was just getting like, did Delian have to hit multiple balls to win?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there were a lot of long rallies. Sousa was playing good defense. He just wasn't. It kind of looked a little bit like the team. It wasn't as bad actually as the Team Varias match, but it kind of looked like that in terms of style.
Okay. So Sousa just wasn't making any progression, right? With his,
he wasn't even trying to make progression. Like, well, he occasionally go for like a ball up the line to make. It's like, I guess he wasn't never, but it was like very rarely. Like Hugo was dominating the rallies in terms of who was being on offense.
Okay. I gotta think about it a little more. I have these guys played on clay before. They have not.
Yeah. They played 2 years ago on Prostov. I don't. That matters.
I'm not putting too much stock into that.
Then the last match of the first round.
Cerundolo and Norrie.
Yeah. I was surprised that the money line is only like minus 200 for Norrie.
I like the straight set for Norrie here. I think you get plus money on it.
Yeah. I hit the money line yesterday at like minus 210 or something, I think.
I hate hitting money lines over minus 200.
Yeah.
I like two sets here. I really don't think Juan Manuel is that good, to be honest. And then like Norrie is acclimated on clay. He's going to compete. Like how is Juan Manuel really going to win points here?
Yeah.
It's going to be hard.
It's just a matter of Norrie playing his way into this tournament and only having 1 day of rest coming off that long run.
I think it's more him getting acclimated with clay, like the surface. Like now he's played a couple matches. Like,
yeah, but conditions are different everywhere. He's only got 1 day of rest coming from Rio. Or not from Rio, from Buenos Aires up to Rio.
Mm-hmm. I trust him that he'll be ready. He's just too professional. I don't think it's too much of a concern. Like if it's Musetti, 100%. But if it's it's Norrie. So
it's not a matter of professionalism. This is a matter of like recovery from a flight. I mean, I'm assuming it's a flight from Buenos Aires to Rio.
Yeah. It's not too far though. Anything in the futures markets you like here? Oh, there are no futures up because I guess they're in the middle of the first round. So, well, the other tournaments were in the middle of the first round, but they had futures up. So, last time I checked, I saw like Alcaraz at minus 140 to win the title. Do you think he backs up Buenos Aires with a win here?
There's nothing I like here in terms of futures. Like I don't. I mean, but because the problem is like, if you don't think Alcaraz backs it up, and if you don't like it that at minus money, then who?
Musetti. No.
Right, like Musetti actually would have been one of my better picks, but I mean, he went Musetti, which is why you never can take him in the futures. Like, Is there anybody that's appetizing in the bottom half? I say no.
No. And probably now that Musetti lost, I bet like the futures after the first round is complete, Alcaraz is probably going to be like minus 220 to win the tournament.
Right, and that's the only guy I could ever see hitting.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. No futures here. All right. Parlay of the day. Let's hit something. So I think we agreed on Lajovic -2.5.
Lajovic, we like Vera. I got the money line, but only because I got better odds than you done the money line.
Put it
But
in
you can
here
take it however you
because,
like.
I want to see what odds we get. Got so many bets going. So Vera. So we definitely got Lajovic -2.5. We got Vera.
Vera, however you like it.
I think -2.
Fine.
I don't really want to put Bellucci in there because we just
Oh,
don't.
either.
Did you want to put the Zapata money line?
Mm.
No. Is that too close to put in there?
I'd rather not if we don't have to. What about the other tournaments? Was there anything we liked at the other tournaments?
Marseille. Did we like?
Did you like Cressy and Straits or not over Blankino?
No, because he plays too many close sets.
Okay.
I don't like that. Brouwer -185 against Ymer.
Fine.
Oh, Richard.
We liked Richard, right? Minus the 4.5 and laid the games. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Oh, Fields, right? We both love Fields.
Oh, like we love Fields money line.
Okay.
All right, let's look at Doha.
Agut minus the 4.
Not in a parlay. That's a single bet to me. It's
So
just so many games, right?
What?
It's just a lot of games. Like I believe in it, but it's just a lot of games.
Yeah.
Just Andujar is just a different level of bad. Where I don't feel as like that's bad putting it in there. Yeah. The slate in Doha is really bad tomorrow.
It is a bad slate.
It's a bad slate of matches.
So that's it. That's the parlay. Four's not a bad number of legs.
Four's not a bad number. You don't want to put Zapata money line? Too risky?
Nah, I don't. No.
No.
I think the conditions there matter too much. In fact, I might just continue to sit on that and see what the weather looks like in Rio throughout the day. I don't think I think the only thing that's going to change is the weather. I don't think that line's going to move.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. How about Norrie money line -250?
Yeah, I would put that in there.
That.
Yeah.
So I don't see any way he loses that, right?
No.
All right, so we're gonna leave that. Richard -4.5 against Andujar. Vera -2 against Fonini. Norrie money line against the bad Cerundolo. Lajovic -2.5 against Schwartzman, and Fields money line against Safilunin. You get plus 14 to 1.
Okay, not bad. Not bad. Could be worse.
I'm putting 1.5 units on it.
All right.
Call it a day.
All righty. All
right. So that's a wrap. So we'll probably do a podcast towards the end of the week. Maybe Thursday.
That was a long one. I think it was like 3 hours. That was close to our record again.
One.
Brutal.
So good luck on your bets, everyone. We'll see you guys at the end of the week. So have a good night.
All right, guys. Signing off. Have a good night. That was brutal.